not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Yeah, today can eat a bag of dicks. How about that? The Monty Show on Thursday, November 13th, 2025. Today has been one of the worst days. It's just been that day. You know that day you have where everything is just horrendous, like terrible. Today, that's that day. Today has just been an absolute shite show, and my lights are all not working. You know, we're just gonna do what we do on this show, which is probably not much. The Monty Show, as always, and then Jake just chooses to zoom the camera in as close to him as possible with a huge hole on the shelf behind him. You know, we don't really care what the show looks like. You know, the camera is
literally the same as it is every day. The camera angle's not different.
Actually, it's not. Either you're different or we have this conversation you see the behind the scenes stuff you guys don't understand. Every day when we get into the studio, I have to tell Jake to adjust his camera. Every day. And today I didn't have time to do that. So naturally, you know, we get Jake like super close to the camera, which is, you know, it's fine. It's the mustache, Monty. The mustache is a curse. Remember what James said about it. I'm telling you. Yeah, absolutely could be. Absolutely could be. You know, some days you just wake up and you know that you probably should just go back to bed. You know, you probably should just go back to bed. Mr. Preston, hello to you. TJ says, someone cheer up Monty and get him a puffy vest. I have a puffy vest. You know, you want to at least put shoes in the hole behind your head there, Jake? Maybe just like,
sure.
You know, dress that up a little bit. Like, good job. There we go. Jake's got like 100 pairs of shoes, yet it's the one right there. You know, Monkey Man says, howdy, folks. Happy Thursday. Hello, Monkey Man. See, there's the levity I needed. James's face on somebody else's avatar again. You know, Kenneth Maynor, who's been a member of the show for 3 months. Thank you very much, Kenneth. Always good to see you. Baylor is the Wake Forest of the Big 12, Baptist and Mid. Well, I'll tell you this story about what's going on with just when you think people probably figured life out, they clearly have not. And Mack Rhoades is, by all accounts, a very well-respected, well-liked individual. They had that run-in with Triggs on the sideline over a T-shirt this fall, which was an ugly incident that no athletic director. I mean, he put his hands on a football player. As an athletic director, you guys remember what I'm talking about, and you get into this mess with Aranda, and it's just like I have no idea what Mack Rhoades thought he was doing. And then today you see that not only did he have that situation, not only that, but you get into this thing where now there's a new investigation and there are new allegations against Mack Rhoades. And Mack has stepped away from the University of Baylor. He has stepped away from the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, for which he is the chair. And that makes everybody wonder what's going on at Baylor, because it's not a Title IX thing. They say it's not violations. It is strictly related to the personal conduct policy at Baylor. And that's what we know. And I don't know how Baylor seems to always find themselves in the middle of these kind of situations where you have people who are really good at their job who apparently are not such good dudes. And whether that is Bryles as a football coach, whether that is, I mean, I'm not even going to list them. You know the terrible things that have happened at Baylor. And you just get into this stuff, and it seems to never end. And we've talked ad nauseum at length about what I believe to be a blight on the face of the Big 12, which is Baylor. They don't win games. And oddly enough, Mack Rhoades has actually overseen football and basketball, women's and men's, I believe, conference championships. And yet here we are in a situation where Baylor basketball is probably not as good as they should be. And certainly Dave Aranda is one of the worst coaches in the Big 12. You're one of the most disappointing football programs in the Big 12. You have allowed Dave Aranda to bring that football program to its knees. And now you yourself and Mack Rhoades, supposedly one of the best athletic directors in the business, now you're on leave after yet another investigation has been started at Baylor. I just don't know how this could be any worse. Right now, for the Big 12 in this moment, I have no idea how this could be any worse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's making the decisions at that university or what he thought he was doing, but it's about the worst timing it could possibly be. It couldn't be worse. And I just don't think there's much more else to say. You're not competitive. You're now a problem for your conference. Like what else is there to talk about? What else? Like what how do we want to spin this? How do we want to be like, oh, it's not a big deal, or oh, it's fine, or what's going to be the the coach speak on this one? Because I don't think there is fixing this, dude. Like they're making it very clear that this isn't, hey, you fed some kids some cheeseburgers and recruited illegally. That's not what this is, dude. This is something much more sinister than that, because if it wasn't, he would still be the chair. He would still be doing what he's doing outside of the school. But the fact that he's not, and the fact that he's had to remove himself from basically everything that he's doing in the day-to-day tells you everything you need to know. And I just, we talked a bunch yesterday about like where the Big 12 stacks up and, how they can be a two-bid conference this year and all these great things. And now we don't get to talk about that anymore. Now we get to be focused on a program that's irrelevant in both sports and has an AD that's just completely irresponsible. So, I don't know how we're supposed to feel good about it.
Well, I don't think anybody says you're supposed to feel good about it. I think the biggest issue here is this continues the narrative that Baylor's a blight on the face of this conference. And I am sure that's not going to be popular in Texas or with our friends at Baylor, but you're again in the middle. You're again in the middle of a situation where you're an embarrassment, and it just continues, and we go over it and over it. You can't even get a group of, like, Baylor's president tried to get a bunch of people together. That fell flat on its face. Like, I don't understand when and at what point this conference is going to step away from nonsense like this. I don't understand it, because this continues to be a conference where you do everything but win championships. That's what the story of this conference is, and it's really frustrating, because you finally are in a situation where you have multiple programs who are on the cusp of being nationally relevant in Texas Tech, BYU, and Utah. And you just can't seem to get it right. Whether it is Oak State being a complete joke, whether it is the Kansas schools just being absolutely irrelevant, whether it is multiple schools in your conference talking about pay cuts and not being able to afford, NIL deals, whatever it is, You have multiple schools just cutting you out at the knees. And we go over this time and time again. And I'm just going to ask you, when do you hear SEC schools talking about giving their coach a pay cut so they can afford to pay NIL deals? When do you hear Big Ten universities talking about how, oh man, we're going to have our kids come back and take less money for NIL because they really want to be here? When do you hear programs in the Big Ten talking about their coach talking about how negotiations are over? You don't hear that. But who do you hear it from? The Big 12 and to a lesser extent the ACC. That's where you hear it from. So should we at all be surprised that the athletic director at Baylor, who went after one of his football players for the color of his undershirt, is now the guy who has had to resign from the College Football Playoff Committee in absolute shame, and is now the guy who is on leave of absence from Baylor amid an investigation of an unknown variety? It just, the narrative continues in this conference. And I know there's going to be people who say I'm making way too much of this and we don't even know what happened and you shouldn't be judging people. Oh, I'm judging people. I'm judging people because this is the truck stop conference, the flyover conference, all the jokes, all the narratives. You don't win. This is what you do. This is what you do.
Absolutely.
And it's really unfortunate that you can't get out of your own way, because there's no excuse for you not to have multiple teams in the college football playoff. And in a year where there are scenarios where the ACC could be shut out entirely from the college football playoff. Yet here we are where you have multiple teams who could be in, and now we have another scandal at Baylor. And you were the chairman of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, in position to help your conference. And now you have resigned your position as chairman because you're being investigated at Baylor for misconduct, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild to me that it's so frustrating.
Yeah, there's not the standards aren't high enough. The culture is not good enough. The day-to-day is not good enough in the Big 12. And it's frustrating, and there's no I really don't know like what else, like, because I agree with everything you're saying. How do you're the chair of the CFP committee. How do you make this kind of mistake? Whatever you did, how do you make a mistake on this level? Because everyone's saying, oh, well, we don't know what they did. Well, I know well enough that whatever he did or is being accused of doing, it's severe enough where you're having to remove yourself from everything. Like, you step down from the committee, you're on a leave of absence, like you're basically saying, yep, full stop, I gotta stop, and I have to separate myself and deal with this. Like, okay, so that inherently means that you've done something that's, just so out there that you're having to pay that kind of a price already. And that's where I say, like, nothing's going to change in the Big 12 until the personnel changes, until the standard is set higher, until there's some sort of penalty to be paid for not winning. And until that happens, this type of stuff will be tolerated, because that's the truth, right? I mean, what's going to happen? Mac will obviously, pay a price, I'm assuming. Baylor inherently will pay a price because their AD is mixed up in this, whatever this is. But as a conference, what is the Big 12 going to do? When is the mediocrity going to be, solved? Like, when is it not going to be good enough at TCU or Baylor or Oak State or K-State? Like, when do people stop having patience for dudes like for any of these quarterbacks that we want to look at, dude? Avery Johnson. How many seasons I got to sit here on this show and talk about how he can't throw a football at a high enough level to win in the Big 12? Right? Like, how long?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's all sort of intertwined. Like this is the last thing. I got to be honest. This is the last thing that I want to spend a Thursday on this show talking about your AD being an idiot away from the field, if you will, being irresponsible, being the worst possible leader you could be. And like, that's just what it is. Like, that's just like, we can just ignore this story and talk about the CFP again. But it is the face of the league right now. It is the poster child of the league right now for probably the next week, I would guess.
Yeah, and I think the Michael Trigg incident is, I don't believe for a second, in my opinion, that this is unrelated to the Michael Trigg thing. I think that incident was heinous. And if you, I mean, I don't know how anybody missed it, but maybe you did. I think it was September 20th. Arizona State and Baylor were playing, and Mack Rhoades went up to Trigg as the ball was being kicked off to start the game, and was putting his hands on the player and asking him about the yellow shirt that he was wearing. And multiple assistants were around when the incident occurred. It was a very short-lived incident. It wasn't something that went on for long. It was weirdly timed. It was at the start of the game, when you're on the field for your first drive of the game against Arizona State. Apparently that incident festered throughout the day. And it really upset Michael Trigg, as you can imagine, when you have your athletic director putting your hands on him. And the good news, I guess, is that Trigg had a huge game. I think that's a game he caught 2 touchdowns in. But I think the bigger issue is Baylor loses the game, and it just got worse. And according to Outkick, Trigg went to be with his family. An assistant coach was visiting with his family when Mack Rhoades allegedly came up from behind and grabbed the assistant's arm and his shoulder and neck area. Rhoades then allegedly proceeded to verbally accost the assistant coach, which was witnessed by multiple Baylor staff from the athletic department. There was an HR complaint filed, according to Outkick. According to, I guess, multiple witnesses, the investigation into the incident was launched. And he got it. He allegedly got away with it. He was not disciplined for that. There was a scenario where Trigg and the assistant coaches were asked to apologize to Mack Rhoades. Then an athletic department staffer realized that Rhoades should have been the one apologizing to Trigg, his family, and the athletic department staff members. I mean, this whole thing is ridiculous. And I don't know, but I can't believe, knowing those details, that this latest investigation is unrelated to that. I just can't. I don't buy that for a second.
Yeah. I mean, violation of the personal conduct policy, right? I mean, certainly it's not the only thing, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think that he would be fully stepping away just because of that, but I agree that it's probably a compounding situation. Like, hey, this happened and then something else happened, and he's been on a roll here where he's just been doing a bunch of bad stuff or stuff he shouldn't be doing, and now we're here.
But how hard is it? It's college football, man.
Well, that's the thing.
It's not rocket
This is what we say about athletes all the time. This is what we say about all these rich, powerful people we always end up talking about on the show. Like, how hard is it to stay out of trouble, dude? How hard is it to get paid your money? I mean, hell, I don't even know how much Rhoades makes off the top of my head, but millions. How hard is it to just be like, yeah, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to represent this conference at a really high level. I'm going to represent the institution at a really high level. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to, take care of my family and loved ones. And I'm just going to enjoy this life that I have for as long as I get to live it. Like, you don't have to worry, like, just for perspective, you don't have to worry about where your next meal is coming from. Like, you don't have to worry about SNAP benefits being taken away. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff that a random average Joe person would have to worry about. Yet you get so wrapped up in what color Buddy's shirt is, and in my opinion, clearly something else that happened that is just impassable as far as the school is concerned. It just is. I don't know. I don't know how these guys make it. And it's what you've always said, right? It's like, hey, like, everybody can be successful, but not everybody can handle that point in their life. When you get to that level, like, and you have access and you're in certain situations, it exposes people. And so we'll see what he did. We'll see what he's wrapped up in, but it's not going to be good. I'm just telling you guys, this is not a good situation. And this is, it's probably worse than what we can come up with off the top of our head.
Yeah. And I will just keep saying, this is not brain surgery. We're not trying to save the world. It's football. It's football. And the thing that is so frustrating to me is this is all self-inflicted damage. It's all stupidity. You're just dumb. That's all this is. I mean, Kenneth Maynor, Baylor is the Wake Forest of the Big 12, Baptist and mid. And there's a lot of people making Christian jokes today because part of Baylor's statement is that, and I don't even want to get into the hypocrisy of relationships, but one of the things that Baylor said is that Mack Rhoades' actions with Michael Trigg are not in alignment with their Christian values. Should we go back to the basketball scandal or the football scandals? What about your Christian values then? Right? Like, Baylor, do you think we don't know who you are? Just open the curtain, because we know who's behind the curtain, man. Like,
is it so hard to just say, like, it's not in alignment with the values of Baylor? Why does it have to be Christian values? Why can't we just say, like, I understand
it's a Christian university.
I get that, but I understand that that's like part of what defines them. But part of me is like, why don't you just put out a simple ass statement that says, hey, like, this isn't in alignment with how we like to do things at Baylor? Just as simple as that. Everyone knows you're a Christian university. You don't have to beat us over the head with it again. Like, it, like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just, maybe the issue is us. Maybe we as sports fans expect too much out of guys who make millions of dollars a year to be an athletic director, and manage relationships and push paper for a living. I mean, that's what you do. Like, this is what bothers me so much. Like, I'm sorry, it's that hard for you. I think his salary, his total comp package is like 2.2 this year or something like that, or last year. Okay.
I don't even care about the money. Who cares? Like,
okay.
How is there? But whether it's $2.2 or $2.2 million, what are you attacking a football player for at kickoff? You're upset about his shirt? You couldn't tell him that before the game? Why are you putting your hands on the player? Talk to the coach. Have him go change his shirt. Tell the coach, hey, Trigg's got to go change his shirt. Whether you're making $2 or $2 million, it just is not that difficult. It's not that difficult. The money is always irrelevant to me because the money is comic book money. It's monopoly money. What professional athletes and professional administrators make, you can't even fathom it, right? Like, who can fathom what any major LeBron James makes every day? How can you fathom the money that goes into LeBron James's bank account every day? No, I can't either. I can't either. It's Delaric, who's been a member for 32 months. Good to see you. I told you Aranda had dirt on somebody. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. Rock and Rant, a member for 15 months. Exhausting. Thank you. Greatest sport in world is run by fools. Yes. Yes, exactly right. Brandon Butler, a member for 34 months. My dude, the mediocrity is built into college football. Northwestern and Purdue have been in the Big Ten for years to lose and take the paycheck. Yeah, I agree. But isn't that why we hear so many rumors about teams wanting to go to the SEC? I mean, you look at the Michigan State story this week. How much hypocrisy is in the Big Ten? Like, what do we even... Oh, big money for being stupid. Yeah. Yeah. It truly is. It truly is incredible. Awkward guy, man, how is it this hard to not be a douche? Right? I swear egos are the downfall of man. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's just incredible. It is so frustrating to me. And today's been a day, as I said, if you're just tuning, today has been just a shit show, right? And one of the things I'm really excited about is flipping on the TV Saturday morning, and I've got 3 massive football games, right? Like just 3 gigantically important football games. You got Notre Dame at Pitt, and we got to talk about Pat Narduzzi, speaking of being a douche. Oh, my God. Oklahoma at Alabama at 3:30, and then the game, Texas at Georgia. Great weekend of college football. Great weekend. And then we got to talk about Buddy in Waco, not named Koresh, having to resign as the chairman of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. In the year, and again, I don't think it's going to happen, but do you understand the position the Big 12 is in opposed to the ACC? Like the ACC got Cristobal, with all due respect to Rock and Rant. But the ACC had Miami, and they're in complete chaos. And now you have the guy from Baylor as the chairman of the selection committee. Well, that was until this investigation happened, and now he's out. He's not only out of Baylor, he's out of the committee. I'm amazed by it. Now, the good news is, obviously, you got to replace him, but not as chairman. Not as chairman, and with the guy, and I think I said this before Utah left the Pac-12. I told you Mark Harlan's an elite administrator. BYU fans save it. Oh, what about after the game last year, Monty? Okay. Totally agree. Mark was, and I talked about it on the show. But there are a few dudes that are as respected as Mark Harlan. He's not the chairman, though. He's not. And he should have been the commissioner of the Pac-12, in my opinion. I think I even said that on the show.
You did.
Should have been the commissioner of the Pac-12. Now he's on the College Football Playoff Selection Committee again. So that's good. But you look at Rick George retiring in July from Colorado, transformative figure in the history of Colorado sports with Deion Sanders. And this conference has got to find a way to compete off the field as well as on. Like, I saw this story. Did you guys see the story about the Big Ten and their revenue distribution model? Do you guys understand that the Big Ten, who's working on, what is it, a $2.5 billion equity influx?
Yeah.
Do you guys understand that the Big Ten is going to make you earn your money now? And if you're an Ohio State fan, Jesus, you're in position to just rule the roost on this.
Ohio
right?
State.
It's with, I think, terror that you realize this deal, if it comes together, will exponentially benefit Ohio State more than anybody else. They will get an overwhelming share of this money. And I am not even surprised by it. I am not even surprised by it. And you look that if Ohio State continues down this path with the Big Ten, the Buckeyes will mostly be in the driver's seat controlling the finances and the investments in that league, because they're really the ones driving it. Michigan and USC want nothing to do with this deal. They want nothing to do with this deal. And it's going to happen without them, frankly. But why does Ohio State have so much control? Well, because now they're national champions, but they're always in the college football playoff. They're always in the BCS. They are always contending at the top of college football. So what do? They make more money than everybody else. They have a better stadium than everybody else. They have larger turnout than everybody else. They have larger TV audiences on par with everybody else at the top. What does the Big 12 have? Does the Big 12 have, and I know, again, and I'm not, today I feel like I'm railing, probably just because I'm in a pissy ass mood. But again, for all you jackalopes who held the door open for Texas and Oklahoma, because we don't want them in this league anymore, Monty.
Don't want them, don't need them. Who the hell are they?
Who does Texas think they are? They're politics. They're so difficult to deal with. Yeah, well, turns out they win games, they make money, and people like to watch them on TV. Who do you have? Do you have a single game that's going to compete with this one right here this year? Because your two biggest games drew 4 million and just under 4 million. My guess is this one draws 10 million. What do you want? What do you want to bet that 10 million people will watch this game? And I'm telling you, this private equity deal in the Big Ten is a big, big deal. It is a big, big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that, winning cures all, and when you win at the highest level, you have the loudest voice in the room. And, I think that Ohio State has done a great job dominating the conversation in the CFP era. They've pretty much been there every year, whether they've gotten in or not. They've been right there at the end. And I think that that's where you can say, hey, yeah, we're the ones carrying the Big Ten, right? Like, we're not the ones that have, cheating scandals happening or really anything going on.
That's right.
Outside of what went down with Pervin, we haven't really had anything going on. And
Pervin liar, please.
We've just been focused on winning. And even when Ryan Day couldn't figure it out, we were still in the conversation, and then he figured it out. So I just think that there are levels to the game, man. And if you're not going to be serious about winning, and you're going to have people with poor integrity and poor character leading your program, you're going to pay a price. And I think that that's not unique to the Big Ten. I think that the Big 12 pays that price, and I think that price is more severe because they don't win anything. And that's just the truth of it.
Yeah. And like you look at this private equity deal in the Big Ten. Can you imagine if Michigan and USC vote against this deal and opt out of it? And Ross Dellinger at On3 wrote about how they would have a small grace period, probably 6 weeks, to approve it, to opt back in. They'll just be on the outside looking in because Ohio State said so. That's what the poll they have. And deservedly so. Deservedly so, because to me, it's remarkable. It's remarkable that Michigan even exists at this point with everything that's gone down on that campus. I mean, it's wild. Mike Smith says Dana and James both missing. Odd. Yeah, they're probably trying to investigate the moon landing, right? From Afghanistan.
That's right.
I went back and listened to that segment today. I don't think I was off base at all about that. That James Afghanistan comment was just
Afghanistan.
so far out of right field. Like just,
Iraq.
Monty, getting stressed out. Maybe we can get Dana Marie to give you a neck massage. Take it easy. No, don't you guys ever just have really shitty, terrible, awful days? And to be clear, my shitty, terrible, awful days are pretty good days. Right? Like you're just swimming uphill with some things. This is that day, and I always joke about it. Should have never gotten out of bed today. Husker Magic, if the Big Ten sells 10% of their equity without Michigan and USC's consent, they'll depart the Big Ten and join the ACC on condition unanimous member support. Nah, I don't think so.
Why do we always have to go tinfoil?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Can we not just talk about unequal revenue sharing based on how much you win and the fact that, the Big 12 and the ACC might want to figure out how to start winning some national championships at some point?
Yeah. RJ Seaman, the king of Thailand. Pitt will have some noise to say, hold my beer. Dude, I've heard some people say some stupid shit on this show. But Pat Narduzzi outdid even James in Afghanistan yesterday, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Steph Curry breaks his contract with Under Armour, and he is now a sneaker free agent.
You already know where he's going.
It won't be Nike. It will not. You guys know this story, right? Wow, that is shocking. So Steph Curry wanted to and always dreamed of being a Nike athlete. He went to Nike and they just basically said, I got $250,000 in my pocket and not $250,000. How about 25 cents we'll pay you a year? Like they lowballed him, showed him no love, no respect. And he went to Under Armour. And now, right now, today, he has terminated his deal with Under Armour. Wow. Well, I'm sure more on that will come out, but we got to play this Pat Narduzzi thing. I agree that Notre Dame is not a game of consequence for Pitt as an ACC contender. Pitt is 7-2 and 5-1 in the conference, and they will determine, because they play Georgia Tech and Miami, Pitt will determine who wins that league. And Pitt could really make it so no team from the ACC gets into the college football playoff. If you're Pat Narduzzi, are you telling your team this about Notre Dame?
This is a must-win for this team when it comes to something.
Absolutely not. It is not an ACC game. I'm glad you brought that up. It's not an ACC game. I gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10 in that game. They can put 100 up on us as long as we win the next two after that. But again, our focus is on Notre Dame and getting as many wins as we can.
What am I supposed? Listen, maybe and Pat Narduzzi watches this show every day, I'm sure of it. But maybe I should just put Rock and Rant's comment back up on the stage. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, man? Are you out of your mind? You're putting in your players' brains, it's okay to get our ass kicked by Notre Dame. You're telling your players, hey, as long as we beat Georgia Tech and Miami, it's okay for Jesus Christ and his soldiers to come in here and beat our ass at home. It's okay for an opponent to come in to Accra Crap Hole Stadium and beat the hell out of us.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
If we lose by 100 to Jesus and his dad, dude, who cares? It doesn't matter that we're already a 12.5-point dog on a 53.5 number. Nah. No, listen.
We keep it a book right now, we ass.
it's the last game that will be on national TV and everybody will be watching. So let's go out and get our ass beat by 100 and just make sure that we're ready to play Georgia Tech in Miami. How about no? How about no? How about you do everything you can do to beat Notre Dame Saturday? Because again, the ACC is in a position, I'm not saying it's likely, but I think it's fascinating. There are scenarios where the ACC has nobody in the college football playoff. You understand that, right? You understand that the ACC, if it all broke wrong, would have nobody make the college football playoff. And we're supposed to believe that beating Notre Dame is not a priority in the ACC. You should resign. You're a douchebag.
Yeah, maybe you and Matt can go hang out in the Caribbean. What do you think? I mean, I mean, it's not like Notre Dame is ranked, top 10 in the CFP and the AP, right? I mean, I believe they're sitting right at 10 if memory serves correct. It's not like you need quality wins as a 2-loss team. I mean, it's not like, you need to actually like make money for your conference or do anything. But,
I'll never understand it.
It's funny how it's always the guys who are absolutely irrelevant are the ones running their mouth about teams who are outright better than them. And it's funny how you want to stick on the, Notre Dame is an FBS independent. They don't play the ACC. They're not in our conference. Who cares? Oh, I don't know. I mean, everybody and their mom who's gonna say, yeah, you lost to Notre Dame. We'll see you next year, dude. Doesn't really matter what you do the last two games.
Hey, Pat. Look, dude, I know that you guys beat Georgia Tech and Pitt, or Georgia Tech and Miami. I saw that game against Notre Dame where they beat you by 105. And,
what a loser!
We're gonna have to leave you on the outside looking in.
What an idiot!
Because I got news for you. Do you know what Marcus Freeman is telling his team about the Pitt game? Do you know what Marcus Freeman's telling the Irish? Hey, boys, this is a playoff game. You win this game, and we dramatically improve our opportunities to get into the college football playoff. We lose this game, and we're done, guys. I want you to understand. If we lose this game, we're done. Our season essentially comes to an end at Accra Crap Hole Stadium. Probably, you guys, we probably want to go in there and then immediately when he's done talking, he says, and before you go, guys, I want you to understand that as important as this game is to us, it doesn't seem like Pat Narduzzi, the head coach at Pitt, it doesn't seem like he respects us. Here's what he said about it.
This is a must-win for this team when it comes to something.
Absolutely not. It is not an ACC game. I'm glad you brought that up. It's not an ACC game. I gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10 in that game. They can put 100 up on us as long as we win the next two after that. But again, our focus is on Notre Dame and getting as many wins as we can.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I am amazed. Spoon. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. In a Wednesday or a Tuesday presser before a Saturday game. And you just decide, that game.
Yeah, that's stupid.
You're an idiot. And I hope you do lose by 100. Rock and rant. Narduzzi, for all he knows, many things could happen that push them into a large conversation, let alone that they have college game day, the biggest game in the school in decades for visibility. It is, dude, did you take like your buckshot today? Or are you like, because you seem like you were on top of it today, Rock and Rant. Yeah, this is one of the biggest games in modern Pitt football history. National TV. Everybody's watching. Everybody's watching. College game day.
Well, why would that be? Watching. It's not an ACC game, Monty. I mean, why? It doesn't matter, right? I mean, come on.
It's wild to me. Chris Faithful. Pitt might be able to sneak in an at-large with 3 wins. If some things happen, they could miss the ACC title game, even if they win both Georgia Tech and Miami games. You guys get. And I see some of the comments, and I've already gotten a text from Christopher, who says, bro, their conference champion gets in. I think this is a common misperception. You understand that the 5 highest ranked conference champions get in. It doesn't say the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12 conference champions get in. Do people really not understand this? Because I've seen this argument in a couple of places now today. No one conference is guaranteed that their conference champion gets in. The 5 highest ranked conference champions get in. So there's an avenue where you could miss the whole thing. That's not going to happen. I think Miami, there's a whole, but dude, come on. Oh, the non-story about Mack Rhoades. He already apologized. God. Like, how do you, what do you mean the non-story about Mack Rhoades? Bro, like, what do you mean the non-story? The non-story about Mack Rhoades. So let me understand this, because, I understand that I'm not, I'm not in Afghanistan like you are.
Afghanistan.
Well, and you haven't seen Baylor's locker room, so how could you be credible on this story? I mean, come on.
But you're telling me that your athletic director walking up to a player while the game is kicking off, quite literally while the game is kicking off, and putting his hands on that player. And then after the game, when that player is meeting with his family on the sideline and an assistant coach, you walk up to the athletic director, walks up to that assistant coach and puts his hands on that coach by the arm and the scruff of his neck, and by some accounts, physically moves him, pulls him, and then chews his ass in front of everybody. To which an HR complaint was filed and a full investigation was done. And according to Baylor, they took action against Mack Rhoades. And now a new allegation, which Baylor says and sources are saying is unrelated to the Trig thing, but it's just a nothing burger. Yeah, he already apologized, just like Ollie Gordon. Bro.
Like, what are you on the last few days, dude?
I'm serious. I think Oak State, James, we should do a wellness check. Like, honest to goodness.
I've prayed for moments like that.
I don't know if you got some bad edibles from Big Daddy Magic or what, but
He is a sick puppy.
Thank you. Like, if you're a praying type, you should pray for Oak State, James, because I have
Name, image, and likeness.
Lord, let your divine intervention shut James up. Amen. Oh, and please, Lord, finance his new Civic. In Jesus' name we pray.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are
bro.
you talking about? Oh my God. Like,
Rough,
I just don't even, Husker Magic. I seriously doubt the CFP selection committee would dare rank the SBC and AAC. Okay, let me ask you, what happens if Duke wins the ACC? Oh, okay. So, and just so that we're clear, I don't think that's going to happen. I think in the grand scheme of things, the ACC conference champion will get in. If Duke wins, you're for certainly, I think USF at that point looks pretty good, but you guys haven't been, and because I have no life, I have been. JMU would probably it would be JMU versus Duke at that point. if Duke were to find a way to win the ACC championship, that would be an absolute cataclysmic ridiculousness crossing of the ACC streams by Venkman. Like, you guys, that is akin to, it's a disaster on the level of Oak State James saying that Afghanistan and that Mack Rhoades is a saint of all saints.
Afghanistan.
You know, BYU 30-19, top 10 next week. Okay. Conundrum. James counsels without knowing all the facts. I could be.
James just admitted in the comments section that he speaks off the top of his head and is completely uneducated about the Rhoades story, bro.
I have no idea what that was.
Bro.
Just go to bed right now. Just fucking.
Bro, I can't help you if you won't get on Twitter, dude. I can't help you if you won't get on Google.
He apologized, Monty. James, go back to investigating if the moon landing's real, dude. That's just.
Bro.
Afghanistan.
Roll down a hill to figure out if the earth is flat. Like, you just stick.
You have to be nice to stupid people.
I don't even know where to pivot to. And how do you not know this? You're a Baylor fan.
Well, his wife is a Baylor person.
He has stated he is a Baylor fan because his wife is a Baylor fan.
Well,
where's the guy who always puts Oak State James in word timeout? We need him now. Jeremiah Champion, the hero that this show currently needs right now.
Gabriel, James, there is a time and a place, and I promise you that today is not that time, and right now is not that place, dude. Oh, bro,
man.
dude.
I just, and it's so, this is not difficult. This, you know, I want people to, this is why I'm up at 5 a.m. to watch this show. That's right. King of Thailand now lives in Thailand.
How has the first few days been, dude? We could really use an update from you today. Today's been a very gloomy day as far as stories are concerned. Give us some positivity about your new adventures.
Yeah. Husker Magic, Monty, if 2 G5s get in and no ACC team gets in, well, I mean, if that happens, that's the ACC's fault. Right. And if Candies and Nuts, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle, but she doesn't. So she's not. I don't know about a 2018
Shame.
thing. Like, listen, you want to gangbang 28 people into the college football playoff? You do you. Not today.
Excellent strategy, sir.
Not today.
Bro, Monty's standing on business today.
Exactly. You guys leave James alone. He is in the concussion protocol. And you know what? Fuck. I love James. Right? Like, look at this. You guys want to see the latest review I got on Amazon? Look at this shit. I am not. This is a real review on my product on Amazon.
Purchase, bro.
And I appreciate all the people who buy my stuff and leave me reviews. This is goated territory by our guy, Fat Jesus. I bought this for my nephew, James. He loves it. He's using the trucks to pretend he's building a rectory. And he loves to roll each truck out and chart its distance to see which one traveled the farthest. The trucks are sturdy and should withstand heavy use. Your little one will definitely enjoy.
Dude, James, how do you do this, bro? You've reached other platforms unaffiliated with the program, dude.
You are, James. And I try to explain this to James when he's tweeting at me about how, well, you leave my mentor out of this. Bro, I'll leave your mentor out of this as long as you leave this out of your mentor. I am only
your mentor.
Whatever he said, his pastor, his teacher, his Jehovah, whatever it is. Yes, Fat Jesus, thank you. This is life-changing. Yes, there is your Jehovah, your North Star, your tattooed larynx bro. James, do you understand that you are catching strays in Amazon reviews, dude? You are a legend. James,
hey, look, man.
You are a legend.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that you can top this, dude.
You know, I'm just telling you.
Already been won.
I'm just telling you, man. It is incredible. This is and Fat Jesus, for those of you who don't know, Fat Jesus dates back to the shitty radio station in Phoenix. And I think he's one of the GOATs. He's on the wall, right? He's on the wall. And this is just so unbelievable. It's remarkable.
But the best part of it is Fat Jesus's ability to identify an opportunity, right? Because we had briefly mentioned this on the Monday program, and by Thursday we've got one up, and I don't know how he turned that around so quick, but this is incredible material, dude, and I appreciate that you did 5 stars. Thank you. This is incredible material right here, dude. Like. Yeah.
This is the greatest. This is one of the greatest flexes from Fat Jesus ever. And he's had unbelievable videos on this show. Like, it's unbelievable. And yeah. James, Oak State James, legitimately, sir, I hope you appreciate what kind of supernova you are on this show. I truly hope that you appreciate just what a unbelievable superstar you are. And how did we get to a place where we're talking about you guys buying merch, James? Merch hasn't come up, bro? When did that come up, dude? You know. I don't know, man. But listen, I love it all. I am a huge fan. James, I appreciate everything you do for this show. Even when you come in here and say that Mack Rhoades is a saint and a man amongst boys. You know.
Erroneous.
Yeah.
Erroneous on both counts.
Fat Jesus, James seems to take in stride, unlike Tanner. Oh, my God. You guys remember Tanner Plum? I miss Tanner Plum.
Got no class.
I'm not buying a toy truck. Nobody told you to, man. What? Dude, that's cool. In advanced conspiracy theory, it's eye-opening how you can blend Christian hate into a college football show. Who's blending Christian hate?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what you mean, dude.
If you want me to buy merch, we need the Monty Show polo shirt. I'll buy one. Okay, yeah. You know. The broccoli hair priests are coming out. Okay. Look, I think it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's well done, dude.
If James is not your Larry Bud Melman or Stuttering John, then he's definitely your 3-Eye Atlas. He is definitely our 3-Eye Atlas.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, Bryce. Maury Alvarez had some great content a few years ago, and he still does. Maury with the videos, oh, my God.
Yeah, the video of the roller dog at QT was incredible.
Incredible. Yeah, the review is legendary. And everybody who leaves me reviews, I've gotten, I think 3 people have left me reviews on Amazon from this show, and I appreciate you. You know, it obviously it helps the show quite a bit, but Fat Jesus, I can't say how much I appreciate you. It's amazing. I would buy a black polo shirt with that logo on it. The logo on your lamp looks cool. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That is our logo. Although I was messing with ChatGPT last night, and
okay,
I have some ideas. What would James merch even look like? I mean, Oak State James wearing our merch. I mean, it'd be better than maybe I need to get him a purple shirt.
A 3X long sleeve purple Monty Show shirt,
I mean, he does need to put a shirt on. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be walking around with all that hair, dude. I mean, that's a little excessive, dude.
All right, some breaking news for you on the Monty Show. Bro, this gambling stuff is getting out of hand. I don't even know how you according to ESPN.com, 14 arrested in mafia-backed betting ring involving athletes. 14 men charged for their role in a multi-million-dollar illegal sports betting ring that involved college athletes with links to organized crime, New Jersey authorities said, according to Little Joe Perna, a member of the Lucchese crime family. According to authorities, Little Joe and his associates ran a nationwide network of bookmakers who used offshore websites to facilitate $2 million in bets between 2022 and 2024. Matt Platkin, the New Jersey Attorney General, said a number of college athletes operated sports books at the direction of Perna's organization. And by extension, the Lucchese crime family. Platkin would not answer questions on what colleges or what sports were involved. The NCAA is aware of the charges and is looking into the case. Perna, who's 55, is charged along with his son, stepson, and nephews, as well as others, with racketeering, conspiracy, gambling offenses, and money laundering. Perna allegedly acted as the financier, while his son, Joseph R. Perna, conducted the daily operations and facilitated dozens of subordinate agents. Those sub-agents included Perna's brother, his stepbrother, and cousins. According to authorities, 6 other men were accused of being high-level agents who managed their own sports books as part of the scheme. Ooh. I mean, at this point, are we surprised when anything like this happens?
No, we're not. And I think that, I think that the feds are, working hard on this category of crime. I think that there was some reporting out of the NFL today about prop betting and, different, things that the NFL would like to, because the NFL essentially wants to get away as far away from prop betting as possible. That's their stance. And, there's
Everybody does.
Yeah, and there's only so far you can go at this time. So I imagine changes will happen. But yeah, I mean, I think that gambling is it's not hard to understand or draw the connections as to how NIL would make the gambling situation worse, because college kids specifically, they can be paid, through the NIL process, and you can create businesses and do all the things you need to do to pay them under the table without anyone ever knowing that it's you until the feds start digging into it. And so it doesn't surprise me that there's a bunch of layers to this and levels and college kids.
Yeah.
And that, it's just such a intertwined mess.
Look at the Chad Carter. First of all, a member for 21 months, Chad Carter. Oh my God, please let Michigan be part of this. Well, you better not say that so loudly, because you can't tell me that people like Ohio State and Michigan are constantly targeted by the mafioso types.
You're so
right. I mean, that obviously when you're the biggest programs, the biggest money gets bet on you, right? Chad, you know that. I mean, it is, ooh.
I mean, at what point do we start talking about, just any gambling site that you can think of, any of the big boys that you can,
Yeah.
I mean,
are
at what
we
point
not
do
talking about that already?
Yeah, I mean, at what point do we start asking the question of hey, well, are the C-suite level people there hooked into the mafia? dude? Are they like, is that how this is happening so frequently? Yeah, right? Like, is that how this is happening so frequently?
Yes.
I mean, it must be. It has to.
I've wondered Mike, I've wondered the exact same thing. I have wondered the exact same thing. Johnny Gonzalez, I can't expect the dad to make his NBA return after this gambling scandal dies down. There is the Michael Jordan playing baseball conspiracy theory about LeBron James right now. He's hurt with sciatic issues.
Yeah, he's working his way back with the G League team. I'm sure he is.
Yeah. Ryan Day's brothers out here keeping Ohio State safe.
Damn.
So good. So good. I had a friend who used to sports gamble all the time years ago when it became a trend. And one day he lost a couple of bets and realized that he is starting to get addicted. So he quit and made profit. Hey, dude. I mean, if you can do that, it is. And I've told you guys in the past. I mean, it is not hard to find one of these type of guys on a campus. I told you in high school we had bookies, right? I mean, it's not difficult to do. Right. Yeah. Well, you know what, Jesse Crum, how about that? Yeah, that all works right into it. Emmanuel Clase, the pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, who is being charged with telling people what was going to happen on the first pitch.
And a swing and a miss.
And that pitch right there allegedly cost his folks millions of dollars. That's how big this stuff with Clase and Lopez got, where this pitch right here was supposed to be a ball.
And a swing and a miss.
And Pages, the batter for the Dodgers, cannot control himself such as he's Oak State James, not reading articles, but commenting about Ollie Gordon.
Hey, Pages, chase much, dude? Hey, might want to work on the chase rate, bro.
And Pages went out of the zone. But you look at these other pitches from Clase.
For Daz Cameron as we start. If you want to just get it down to its lowest common denominator.
Guardians go to Emmanuel Clase.
Down, it's a one-run game here in the ninth.
2 outings. 2 outings ago.
Chitter Kerstad.
And I would point out, one of the things that people are talking about is that Clase also had a hit by pitch. And what he was doing, allegedly, was he was taking money to throw the first pitch of at-bats as a ball. And I mean, one of them almost hit the grass, you saw there. But I can't remember what radio station I was listening to, but they were talking about how he hit a guy with the first pitch because he was trying not to throw a strike. Well, hitting a guy is a different prop than throwing a ball. Like it's just, that's the level with which we're talking about. And I think this is very serious because they have text messages allegedly, they have text messages of him being talked to about the Pages swing and miss.
Yeah, so the Pages swing and miss happens, and allegedly, according to the documents or whatever, the filing, it says that he got a text mid-game that was of a dude hanging himself, and he replied to that with a puppy dog eye.
No. It was a black guy hanging himself. And I don't know if did you guys see this text? It's a meme of a black guy hanging himself. Like, hey, dude, I took that to mean, hey, dude, do that again. And like Boyd Lake, good to see you back on the show, Boyd. After last Saturday's Lubbock disaster. Yo, bros, how goes the caterpillar farm? Hey, getting into the caterpillar farm. I did a little landscaping on the caterpillar farm this morning.
Yeah, you're lucky you're making this comment this hour. Last hour and your ass would have been grass, dude.
No, I'm not in a better mood yet. It's going on. I'll be honest with you. I don't love it. I don't love it. And if my life continues to go down to the crap hole, it's going to be gone sooner than later. I'm just going to tell you that now. Today was it. You want to know what kind of day I had today? Today's that day when you make yourself a bowl of cereal and you don't have milk. And you put all the berries in there and you slice up the banana and you put in the collagen and the creatine and you're like, dude, this shit's going to be amazing. It is going to scrape the walls of my colon. Like, I am stoked to eat this cereal. Let me go get the almond milk out of the. No, Mrs. Monty, apparently you.
That's what fucking ticks me to fuck off.
Then you take your dog on a walk in the fucking rain. You take your dog on a walk.
I'll try to stay calm and not curse.
My nice docile dog who nipped at my finger because he didn't want me to put his Costco sweatshirt on him. Take him for a walk, walking down the street, in the rain, soaking wet. Dog drops a pile. Okay. In the middle of the street. Let's just get a poo bag out and pick that thing up. Oh, we don't have any poo bags. We're out of. I wind up getting a tree leaf and any garbage cans on that corner or on that block. I can just walk over and throw it in the garbage can, right? No.
You're walking half a block with a pile of dog.
No. Block and a half with a pile of shit in my palm. That's the kind of day today's been.
So is that the only reason you're in a bad mood, or is there more?
Shut up, Jake. The point is, it's just been that day. It's just been that day. You know, I'm about to Emmanuel Classe on ESPN Bet. Oh, wait. Yeah, you probably don't want to do that. Kick it in the drain and let Pennywise eat it, dude. I am so against people who leave their dog poop. You got to clean that up. I didn't say anything about Cleveland. No, but you did about your beloved Kansas City Chiefs, who you're not actually a fan of. How are they doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. They're going to get knocked out of the playoffs this week by Denver, which I think they're probably going to win the game. But, you know, my point is, James, if you want to start counting headstones, we can do that. Monty has a human centipede on his upper lip, dude. You know, attaboy, Jake, keep poking Monty. Just keep doing it. I have to come to the conclusion that God uses my fandom to play jokes on me. He must. Mike Smith, someone call the police on Monty for a wellness check. Yeah, we got this guy walking around in the rain carrying around a dog turd in the palm of my hand. Oh, shit. And then last night, because, again, it's raining. I know it's hard to believe in Seattle. Last night, living in a condo tower, I have to go all the way downstairs to throw out my recycling. Get the recycling, and my wife's like, "Oh wait, let me get let's change the piddle pad on the patio because I have a little turf piss tray essentially. It's got a piddle pad in it." I may have gagged a dozen times just on the smell of that, like. And I just knew. Should just never have gotten.
I knew today would be shitty.
Should never gotten out of bed today. KC needs their beloved tight end to ditch that girl. No, they need you to ditch them and go be a Dallas Cowboy fan, which you really are. You know, because you hate Dak Prescott. How'd that work out for you? James, I need you to root for Texas, OU, Notre Dame like you did for Mack Rhoades. Exactly. James is proof God has a sense of humor. Well, I mean, you've all seen his. Well, I mean,
In God's name, image, and likeness.
you know, I can't believe Fat Jesus left that review. Johnny, it does have to end this way. Marty, put down the dog leaf. Exactly. I will admit you were right about Dak. No, you don't say. James, every team you root for will be doomed. Yeah, that's it, right, Bailey. Every team.
It's true.
Every team. Vegas, Kane. What's about? Where have you been? I know I haven't been on here in months, but Monty moved to Seattle. I did. Well, my wife did, and I do what my wife tells me to do. Boomer Sooner, huge game for you guys this weekend. Huge game, Boomer. Can you do it? Can you go to Bryant-Denny and win? You're a touchdown dog. Can you do it? John Matt Taylor, can you do it? I think it's going to be one of the best games of the year. I am so excited for this game. I think it is one of the most important games for Venables. It just is. It's just such a huge. I love this weekend. It is just so huge. Yes, we can.
No.
Okay. These days we call Dillingham days, Monty. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. These days we called it. Yeah. I knew today would be shitty. Yeah.
I knew today would be shitty.
I should have just stayed in bed. My wife didn't want to get out of bed today. I lost a pound when I woke up this morning. You know. If James gave relationship advice, the divorce rate would triple. Oh, wait till we get to non-sports stories in about an hour and a half. We got some of that too. Yes, BYU needs Texas, Oklahoma, and Notre Dame to lose this week. Well, I think you're going to get that out of Oklahoma. I think Texas is going to beat Georgia. And Notre Dame ain't losing a Pitt. It was easier for me to be on here when the show was always on around 6 to 7 a.m. Pacific time. God damn it.
I love that show.
You guys keep saying that. Jake is legitimately behind the scenes lobbying me to go back to mornings. J54, go Sooners. I got faith in the Sooners. You better. You need them. I think Alabama. There's a real chance Alabama is the best team in the country. Did you hear this story about Kalen DeBoer and his sweatshirts? I meant to get this picture. Kalen DeBoer is now refusing to wear sweatshirts that are not this particular sweatshirt. And I think and let me get a picture of it. And I actually love this about DeBoer because Kalen DeBoer is saying that this sweatshirt has magic in it. DeBoer is saying this is the only sweatshirt that he can wear because he's never lost a game in this particular sweatshirt. And listen, I think it's really interesting. Alabama is 13-2 when Kalen DeBoer wears his, quote, black hoodie of death. 13-2 when Big Papa Pump puts on the sweatshirt of death. And do you guys want to know how serious he is about this? This is a 2024 sideline dry fit long sleeve hoodie t-shirt from Fanatics.
No, Big Daddy Magic. We're not getting this for you. Don't ask.
DeBoer wears it, including their last 3 wins against Georgia, Vandy, and Missouri. It's no longer for sale anywhere in the country. And it's so beloved by Kalen DeBoer. He now has 7 of these sweatshirts in hiding. He does not tell anybody where he keeps them. And he wears them in big games. He believes in them that much. Do you? And I have like the shoes I'm wearing today will never be seen again. They will never be seen again. Fuck off.
Okay, what shoes are they?
Shut up. They'll never be seen again. And the outfit that I'm wearing today, and you can even check the fit, bruh. Right? Like I got on the green Lulu pants. Woo, don't fall down. I got on the green Lulu pants. I've got on the 2 big Callaway quarter zip. This combination will never be worn again. And the boxers I have on will never be worn with these pants again. I am that kind of superstitious. I'm not even joking. I am not even joking. Maury Alvarez, it is easier for me to be on here in the evening. There you go. There you go. There were people that were only on in the morning, others only on in the evening, correct? King of Thailand, Monty, sir, pick going to teabag your boys from South Bend.
Jesus.
Okay.
Bro.
Chewy, go back to mornings, you jabronis. Jake wants it so bad. Back to mornings, Chad Carter says. Oak State James. No, I like listening to the show while I'm charting my work.
Okay, you don't chart work, dude.
Interesting. Yeah. Does this mean that you like to chart, how each truck rolls out and the distance to see which one travels the farthest? I still can't believe that review. That is the single greatest Amazon review ever left. Oh, it's legend. Why would I comment about a sweatshirt that I don't want? Okay. James, don't you dare say a word about that. Oh, my God. I love it. Alabama's, 13-2 when their head coaches sported the hoodie during the last 2 seasons, and the magical pullover has fueled a 6-game winning streak.
Yeah. Better be wearing that the rest of the year, bro. Just saying.
DeBoer wore a red polo shirt for the team's season opening dud against Florida State. He swapped it back for the hoodie and hasn't gone back since. DeBoer said, quote, "We're going to ride the momentum," when he was asked to describe his one-item wardrobe after they beat Tennessee. "I told the guys not to get any ashes on the hoodie when they were smoking cigars." I think it's amazing. I truly think it's amazing. And the funny thing is, there's one of these, and I am not even kidding. I am not even kidding. And I should have had the picture ready. I apologize. I did not get it. One of these sweatshirts is on display in the Bryant-Denny Football Museum. That's the legend that this sweatshirt has garnered. This sweatshirt now is a thing of legends, and it has nothing to do with Nick Saban. Only Kalen DeBoer.
Yep.
Right? And there it is on display. That's how legendary this thing has gotten.
Yeah, every person who's good at what they do is like a top performer, like has, takes it seriously like that, has their preferred fit. There's no question about it. Has their preferred, this is my go-to. Why was there a space on the shelf today? Well, needed to have a good day. So what did I do? I put on the Jordan 13 playoffs. And what do you know? Day was a little better. So every person has that thing that they lean on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Why can't you just show me some respect for once? Right? Just, is it so much to ask that you not talk about my teams?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Is it so much to ask that you not talk about Notre Dame, the Chicago Cubs, the Chicago Bears, the Chicago Blackhawks? We're finally playing well. We have a goaltender. Connor Bedard's the best player in the NHL at the moment. Is it so much to ask that you just keep their names out your mouth? I don't think that's too much to ask. You know, Greg Hawkins, I prefer afternoons. I can't tune in the mornings. There you go. It's done. I can do either mornings or evenings, but evenings are better. Thank you, James. The official kiss of death of Notre Dame. Can you please never talk about my teams again? Jake wants to have morning show so he can play more BF6 with his homies.
Mm-hmm.
Probably true. James said, oh, Lopes fan Gabe. Hello, my guy. James said he doesn't want it, so Bama is safe. There you go. They're winning the Natty this year. My high school football coach.
Dude, how many of these guys do you have? Your sideline reporter buddy, now your high school football coach? Like, what?
I am showing you respect, Monty. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Why don't you fuck off?
You're such a legend on this show. And it's mainly because you broke Preston Stone's cock. Because that's where Preston Stone, better quarterback than Jake Ratzlaff. Like, Montessori school kid, better quarterback than Manischewitz, the BYU. And then when Preston Stone had to leave because he sucked so horribly from that moment on, you're like, oh man, Marty, you were right. Manischewitz for everybody. And like a fly on a pile of dung, hot chick from, I hope she was hot, from Utah goes and smashes at Retzloff's place.
I just want to thank you all.
James strikes again. I think James is doing this on purpose, knowing that he will curse the team that he says they will win. I think that's true.
Any thoughts, James?
Keep my team's name out your freaking mouth.
Okay, Will Smith, we get it.
Randy Riding, thanks for the Notre Dame curse, James. James, awesome. Love the take. Of course, because King of Thailand's a Pitt fan. I vote afternoon. Okay. It all started with saying his wife was unattractive. The legend was born.
That's where it started. James, do you still maintain that take?
True.
Do you still maintain the opinion that your wife is unattractive?
Oh my God. That is so true. That is so true.
Hot ass.
Marcus, who works for a TV network. He's an executive at a TV network. Hey, can you ask this Oak State James cat if he could start talking about YouTube TV in glowing forms? That'd be ideal before the weekend.
I got the YouTube TV.
Oh my God. Notre Dame is never winning a game. It's over for us. It's over for us, dude. This show's chat is the best ever. We have built and you all have curated a wonderful community. And James too. I am not doing anything on purpose. Notice Dana Marie's not here today. I really wish KC would run the ball more, and they would. They play action pass off of that. Well, I mean,
Sorry, folks. That's what it is.
But James, seriously, you are the guy. You are the guy who will. You'll spend again. You're the type of guy, James. Oak State James is the type of guy. ... Who is going to be
fucking guy.
He's this fucking guy. He's going to be on YouTube all day trying to figure out if we actually landed on the moon He's convinced we didn't. And then he's going straight for the guy that never was on the hill next to Kennedy getting shot.
Yeah, boy.
And then he's going to roll in here and defend Mack Rhoades. He already apologized. Him and Ollie Gordon are good friends.
Oh, sorry, Monty. My bad. Didn't read the updated story. My bad.
No, James, you don't get it. YouTube TV is so bad, even the knotheads in Congress managed to make a deal before YouTube TV and ESPN did.
Act of Congress.
Has Henji ever got around to Stein?
Present.
Oh my God, Haas Henji, Monty.
Have you seen that thing at Haas?
Robbie Bosco was the QB when BYU won the Natty. Okay. James practices witchcraft, not Christianity. Could be. James is in the cooler. Yes, he is. All right. We should reset halfway home on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Let's come back and reset the news of the day, including the Pac-12 got a new TV deal. Is it good or is it bad? We'll tell you next.
You're not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the Advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
And the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Clear, risk-free advice when you need it most. I was talking to a dude who was riding a scooter this morning, and it turns out he works for Lime, the scooter company. And what I've always been fascinated about with scooters is, how does Lime and Uber not get sued constantly? And because here in Seattle, there's so many Lime scooters, bicycles, this new Glide thing that they have. Don't ride the Glide. It's so slow. And you always see people in Seattle falling off of these things. I'm not even joking. And I asked the guy, hey, just out of curiosity, how often do you guys wind up getting sued? He said, it is a racket. People fall off their scooters constantly. He said the real problem is it's not the people falling off the scooter. It's getting hit by cars while you're riding your scooter. And then the people who hit the people on the scooter sue Lime to try and offset their liability. That's the kind of water you're navigating. If you're riding a scooter and you get hit by somebody driving a car, dude, you need an attorney. You need somebody who understands how to navigate the waters that are shark infested when it comes to insurance companies, because you can't trust your insurance company. You fell off a scooter, if you got in a car accident, if you got hurt at work today, the Advocates are ready to serve you how you need them, when you need them, and where you need them. And if that means right now on a video call, the Advocates are ready to serve you. Just get to theadvocates.com. You can chat with an injury attorney live online, and it won't cost you a dime. And it's not a chatbot. It's an actual real live attorney at theadvocates.com. They fought the fight you're about to get into, and they've won the fight you're about to fight. Hand the Advocates the claims process. You get back to the best version of yourself. And again, you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. All right, let's get into the Pac-12's new, new TV partner. I wouldn't say it's a new TV deal. So you know that the Pac-12 by now has announced a small deal for football with USA Network. But much more of that USA Network deal is centered around basketball. And if you look at what you're seeing here, this is their distribution deal right now. CBS gets 3 regular season games and the conference championship game. The CW gets a lot of women's games, 15 and 35 men's games. And then USA gets the bulk of the Pac-12 basketball deal, 50 regular season games and tourney, 5 or 10 women's. CBS Sports gets 17. And look what the last line says. And now I know I don't know anything. I have no sources to trust me, bro, with. Pac-12 enterprises to be utilized for game broadcast production. So what does that mean? That means that the Pac-12 is producing all of their own TV broadcasts. And what Pac-12 fan is going to tell you is, oh, well, Monty, those USA is paying for that. No, USA is paying you a fee, and you are taking those production costs out of that fee, which means the cost to produce these games falls on the Pac-12. And it's the one hiccup in all of their TV deals that we've talked about. And I think I told you this when the CBS deal came down. I have told you this for 3 years on the CW deal. There's no way to undersell the cost of producing a live sporting event. And when you talk about things like first down lines, when you talk about things like high wire cameras, like it is not cheap to produce a high quality broadcast. And that's what the Pac-12 is dealing with. They're not getting into a partnership with somebody who is going to show up with a production truck and broadcast the games. No. You look at their football deal. It's 10 games on CBS, 22 on USA, and 13 on the CW. Here's the thing, though. Do you guys understand that this is over the life of the deal? This is over the life of the deal. So you're looking at a situation where you're going to be in a spot where you are, for the entirety of the deal, going to be paying for the production of your football and basketball games. And I think USA is a really good partner to add. Everybody's got access to USA Network. It's a good partner on its face. But I think you cannot overlook the fact that the cost of production remains in-house at the Pac-12, and I think that diminishes the value of the deal.
Yeah, and what also diminishes the value of the deal is that they're not talking about how much the deal is worth, generally speaking.
No, they're not.
And, you know, I very intentionally went out of my way to look at all the Pac-12 people celebrating this as if it was some incredible, you know, feat of nature and, you know, as if they invented fire with this deal. And I don't view this as some kind of special edition. This is you getting what you can get. This is you blowing up the Mountain West for what amounts to one of the most mediocre distribution situations we've ever seen. Honestly, like it just is. Like you're on 3 different networks. It's a 5-year deal on this portion, and we're supposed to sit here and believe that you're going to get incredible viewership on this, or that it's going to be really impactful. Well, no, of course not. I mean, I've seen you on YouTube TV before. I've seen like Oregon State or whoever you want to point to. Like I've seen you on YouTube TV. That doesn't mean I've watched. It doesn't mean I've been interested. And this is what you can't get away from if you're the Pac-12. And this is why I still maintain, like, that's all cool. You guys have a great graphic department, but when the rubber meets the road and we talk about actually surviving and, you know, whether you're in the red or the black, this deal does not put you in a great place. This deal is cost prohibitive, to say the least. And again, we haven't even gotten to the legal stuff cost-wise. We don't know what that is ultimately going to cost you yet. That hasn't been determined. So great. Yeah. I mean, if your stance is it's better than nothing, okay. I just feel like that's a pretty low bar considering you blew up another conference to create this conference. Like,
well, I think that's the ultimate point. That the value for your partners certainly is my biggest question. But being on CBS Sports Network, the CW, and USA, that's not a bad distribution package. The problem is it's a pain in the ass to find out where you are, right? And you're flipping around and you don't love that. But does this meet the edict that Pac-12 Commissioner Teresa Gould put forward?
You know, the one thing I keep saying to potential partners is, given where we are as a league, I don't want these partnerships to be transactional partnerships. I don't want this to be a media rights partner writing us a check and televising a bunch of games. We need these partnerships to be transformational at this point, and for somebody to really jump in with us and say, we want to help elevate and reimagine the new Pac-12.
Does it meet that bar? And I can't say that it does, because you quite literally are taking a check and producing games. And you are sending your feed to a satellite, and that satellite is putting it on a channel. How is this at all transformative? And that's what I've always struggled with. And I understand that Pac-12 fan is going to be like, yeah, but the Mountain West deal, what has this got to do with the Mountain West deal? We don't know what the Mountain West deal is. And furthermore, to Jake's point, we have no idea what you're making on this deal. We have no idea, because I don't think the Pac-12 fully knows what they're making. If we're being very honest, I think it's going to be really difficult to put pen to paper to have a true idea of what you're making or not making. And I think on top of the lawsuits and this litigation that you refuse to end with the Mountain West, my question is, if you're Oregon State and Washington State, I get it. If you're the universities that left the Mountain West to go to the Pac-12, you cannot be doing a happy dance over this TV distribution package. Because I just don't see any kind of substantive financial gain from leaving the Mountain West to go to the Pac-12.
You're telling me this is what Boise State signed up for? This was the sales package if you're Boise State. This was the promise. No, it wasn't. We all know this wasn't what was promised. There's no way this is what was promised.
No.
There's no way that anybody in their right mind, and I'm here for a discussion around, the quality of the Mountain West as it was constituted, what that path forward looked like, what are options. I've always been an advocate on this show for especially G5s, but also at the power level, you're always looking for your next home. You're always looking for the best possible position. With that said, I don't think that the risk here for schools like Boise State or San Diego State or whoever you want to point to, the risk is certainly outweighing the reward to this point. And I understand that in the bigger picture, you're still extremely young in this process, but I guess I just still can't wrap my head around from just a pure business standpoint. Like, take the feelings out of it, take all that out of it. Just a pure X's and O's numbers standpoint. Hey, we're Boise State. We're doing a great job. Our athletics are going forward. We just went to the CFP last year. Couldn't be better if you're Boise State right now. And you decided to jump on this bandwagon, and I don't know why you did that. That's what I want to understand. And I hope that we get an answer to that before 2026 is over. I don't know why a school of the caliber of Boise State, with the opportunity they have, decided to take the risk that they took here. Because, again, it's just, how are you, on one hand, this upstart conference that blew up the Mountain West or attempted to create this grouping of schools, doing these TV deals, right? These broadcast deals, but you're not talking about the valuation of the deal. And everybody else and their mom talks about the valuation of their deal to a point where the Big Ten is out here, shoving it down people's throats how much money they make. And you're not talking about it. That tells me everything I need to know.
I think it's the great unknown is always very dangerous. When you're not giving details, it's usually because you don't want those details out. And that, I think, at this point is the only thing that you can say. And I caution people to look at this from both sides. Again, I think the logos that you have with your media rights partners, especially for basketball, this is a really good basketball deal. It is a really, really good basketball deal. You look at how much content is being distributed. Notice it's not all games. It's an overwhelming majority of men's slate on Maximum Reach TV is what they're calling it. But you're only getting 3 games on CBS. You're getting 17 games on CBS Sports. Note it says Max. you're getting 50 of those games on USA Network, 35 of them on the C-Dub. So your smallest partners, and obviously, are getting the largest amount of content. And the same thing goes for football. And I just think it's really difficult. It's really difficult here until we know the net financial impact of this deal. And does that mean that hey, maybe CBS and the CW, and it's not the CW because the CW has never paid to produce a game. USA generally, you look at any major live event, whether it is a golf tournament, a Tour de France, a WWE, USA Network has never paid to produce those events. And so we wind up in this situation where you're not going to be the Big 12. You're not going to be any of the P4 who do not pay production costs to their TV partners. You're not going to be in that boat. And I think we need the details on it, because on its face, if you just look at the artwork, oh, it's a great deal. But once you get into the X's and O's of it, I have a feeling there are some moles on the face of the Pac-12 when it comes to this media rights deal.
Yeah, and I think people want to say that, hey, well, you can. I haven't verified this, and maybe you know this. I don't know, but I saw some people saying that you can access USA through Peacock, and that this deal puts them on. Everyone's phone and yada, yada, yada. And I'm all good with that. And I agree that the Pac-12 needs to be doing that. I have no problem with that. But I still think the main fight for the Pac-12, even with all this visibility and all these allegedly great things you're doing with your media rights partners, I still think the fight that you have is just general relevancy. Just like, okay, great, you're on YouTube TV, or you can be found on USA through the Peacock app,
it is, I'm pretty sure, because I'm a Peacock subscriber, I don't ever watch USA Network. It is, I am pretty certain that it's on their premium tier. And I get Peacock free through American Express. It's on their premium tier. So you have to pay that upcharge to get USA Network through Peacock. So listen, I think it's a good deal. I think if this puts you on cable and satellite, it's not over the air. That's obviously, which you don't have here. And again, I think one of the more interesting things, my guy Marcus pointed this out. What don't you see on their distribution deal? What 4 letters, to give you a hint, are missing from this distribution deal?
Yeah, the 2 major players aren't on there.
There is no ESPN and there is no Fox. And when you talk about being on a cell phone, on a smartphone, you got to have ESPN. And I'll be very interested to see, does the Mountain West include somebody like that of that ilk when they announce their deal at some point? But I don't think it's, I'm not the guy who's going to sit here and say, oh, this is terrible. I don't think it's, oh, this is terrible. It's not good, because we don't know the number. And if the number was great, you know what we would know? We'd know the fucking number. We'd know the number.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we'd know.
Yeah. We know that they would be bragging about it, that they would be in our face.
They'd be all about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they were, you guys. I think there's this belief that, oh my God, I don't want anything to do with this, bro. It is better for all of us if the Pac-12 TV deal succeeds and grows, and the Mountain West TV deal succeeds and grows, because the G5 ain't going anywhere.
Hey, do you think it was good for us that the Pac-12 melted down, dude? That's not good for us, bro. We don't want that. Like, that's not. I mean, the everyone was fascinated with that process, but that's not, generally speaking, in a decade-long viewpoint. That's not good for anybody, bro. That's not what anybody wants, and that's what I think people forget is, like, yeah, we're going to tell the truth about everything here, but that doesn't mean I want it to be the truth. I don't want Mack Rhoades to be a douche. I don't want.
That's right.
I don't want Oak State James to curse Notre Dame. I don't want Pac-12 to melt down. but all those things are true. And so we get to sit here and be like, yeah, cool. We got another graphic, bro. Like you gave us a graphic of all your teams. Like,
I think to your best point here, is this deal, does this move, for instance, Jake, in your opinion, does this deal move the Pac-12 back to P4 status?
No, I don't think that this deal puts you in P4 status. I don't think that this deal, makes you anything other than what you are. I mean, I don't think there is, like, there's this big misconception that, if they have a big enough TV deal and if they get enough schools back in, they can get their power status back. No, they can't. That's not how the process works. And even if you could do that, let's say that there was a statute or some rule or some type of guidance or precedent that says, hey, if you got a TV deal on a certain level with ESPN, you got your power status back. They don't have that level of deal, and that's why I say, like, genuinely, I don't hate the Pac-12, but I've seen I've seen your schools on YouTube TV, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm not that interested in an Oregon State game right now. I'm not that interested. Like, Cam Ward, Washington State was awesome. Those were some entertaining Pac-12 after dark games. But I'm not that interested in Washington State. And I'm really not that interested in generally most weeks in who Boise State's playing. And that's what I think is the damning part, is that I mean, Boise State versus Oregon last year was a good game, but then we rolled all the way through the season. I didn't I followed you. I kept up because I have to, but I wasn't sitting there for 2 hours watching your game front to back. Like that's not what it is. So I just think that what I don't like that a lot of people do is they try to push this and stretch this Pac-12 value. And, oh, man, this is an incredible TV deal. And the Pac-12 got a third TV partner. I saw that a million times today, dude, from On3. Oh, they got a third TV deal. They're just raking it in. Well, actually, dude, yeah, they might have a third, partner that's working with them, but they're not. These are not substantial, groundbreaking, just game-changing deals. And that's what I think we got to be real careful with, and how much we exaggerate the value of these deals. Because I agree with what you've always said. Bro, if anybody's doing work for you to produce a game, you're paying that person. And I don't care if you own the facility, dude. You're paying employees to put those games on. And that's coming out of the fee. So, yeah, Teresa, they did cut you a check. And, yeah, they are putting a TV feed on for you. Or a satellite feed.
And I think that's the hard part that you can't get away from. And I hope people understand it's just I would love nothing more than to see both of these conferences thrive and survive. And I think the hard part is if ESPN Plus is not part of your deal, I think it's very difficult for you to thrive and survive.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my biggest concern. And I am sure all the spin doctors on the Pac-12 side are going to work already. But my biggest concern is these are patchwork deals. And I sit here and bitch every day about the fact that I got to figure out. Last night, I'm trying to figure out where the Blackhawk game is. The Blackhawk game started on True TV last night. You know how long it took me to find True TV? Like, it literally took me like 20 minutes to find where I could watch the Blackhawk game. That's bad for business. That's bad for business. All right. Yeah. Joey says, Teresa Gould, pot calling kettle black. They cut a check, and now you're stuck with a transactional deal. You really are. You really, really are. Memphis should be in the Big 12 or ACC. I also think Tulane should be in the ACC. I think Memphis belongs in a major conference. And it's just right now, I talk to a lot of administrators across college sports, and I think everybody is in a holding pattern because we still don't have settlement on the house numbers. We don't have finality on the house numbers, the settlement. You look at all of these eligibility lawsuits, and I thought it was very interesting today that the NCAA released a statement to its members. You have universities encouraging their athletes to sue the NCAA for more eligibility. And I think it's a great point by the NCAA. You are asking your athletes to sue to get out of the rules you yourself put in place. Right? Like, it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Joey Harper, bro, are your Seahawks the best team in the NFC? I think that's a really good question. And I think Sam Darnold versus Matt Stafford is one of the most intriguing matchups of the week. Pac-12 has lost a lot of dollars from sponsor Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Dude, you're not even wrong. You're not even wrong. Big Blue Horses, Pac is a G6, not relevant. We need a Super League, and everyone else has its own championship and situation. Truth. The awkward guy. This is an on-3 network type of deal. Use out branding, but you'll pay all production costs. Yeah. I mean, it is really crazy to me. I hope it works for them, man. I really hope it works for them. I can't see it working for them. And again, we all talk about, well, it's got national reach and it's USA. Tell me who in New York City, Morgantown, West Virginia, Pompano Beach, Florida, Chicago, Illinois, anywhere not named Fresno, who's going to watch a Fresno State football game? Do you truly think the Pac-12 is a national brand with national viewership and national reach? No. And if they were, they'd have a national TV deal. But they're not. And you and I understand we're going to do the Oak State James Biden Auto Pen Afghanistan thing with, well, neither is the Mountain West. I don't think the Mountain West.
Biden Auto Pen Afghanistan.
Oh, that's forever what it is now on this show. We can sit here and we can play nice and the Mountain West is not a national brand either. They're building, just like the Pac-12. They're both trying to build national brands. That doesn't make it so now. I'm losing weight. That doesn't mean I'm 150 pounds with guns. I'm going to be.
I'm a man.
Right? But come on, you guys. Like it is on its face for the artwork and the graphics. It's a great deal. In execution, it's not. Cocaine Bear took his licks, but keeps on ticking. Okay. TCU James, who loves Baylor and hates everybody. Probably it didn't work. This deal does not make you P4 status. The only way they could get back to P4 status is if the ACC collapsed. SMU. Okay. So the ACC. Yeah, the ACC. That's your new drop. That is your new drop. Your new drop is Afghanistan. There's no doubt. This deal makes them what they are. Timu G5. You're not wrong. Husker Magic. What if the PAC media rights deal worth on par with that of the AACs? Then how are they going to persuade Memphis or North Texas to join the PAC? Well, I don't think they are. Memphis has other aspirations. They truly, I mean, this is a minor league deal. That's what this is. Damn, Timu status. That's harsh. It is, but it ain't wrong. Scoop. Pac-12 could use a new form of AI for TV production. Maybe they will. They're really smart people, man. They don't always ask it, but they are smart people. Big Blue Horses. The Mountain West Conference knows what it is. The Pac is living under the delusion that they still have relevance. The Pac name is meaningless. I would agree. I think that's exactly right. And then there's Paul Feinbaum. Speaking of meaningless. Jake, do you like Paul Feinbaum?
Do I like him? No, not really. No. Is he a staple in SEC land? Yeah, he is, and he deserves credit for that. I don't understand this out of Paul. I'm just gonna be real. I don't get it, dude. I understand that hey, we're in a we're in a heated political time, and I get that. I totally get it. And I understand that some people wake up one day and feel the need to go and make a difference in the world. But what I don't understand is why Paul Feinbaum feels the need to run for Congress or, get into political races when you've got millions of people, quite literally millions of people who are entertained by your product in that part of the country. Why wouldn't you just break off of ESPN and do your own thing if that's what you want? If you want the freedom to talk politics and sometimes talk football, why wouldn't you break off and do your own thing instead of putting yourself through the absolute, just funeral that is getting into politics, man? I mean, it's just
I don't know.
I really truly hope, and it's funny that the Mack Rhoades thing is happening today, but I really hope that Paul doesn't have any skeletons. I hope that Paul doesn't have any dirt that can be dug up, because if he does, his name's going to get taken through the trash, dude. That's what politics is. And I feel like, love him or hate him, he's been really consistent for ESPN and has showed you what a career can look like. But I just don't think, unless there's a different guy in there that we just haven't seen, I would not ever advise Paul to get into politics.
I wouldn't advise anybody to get into politics, sadly. I think it is a really rough time in our lives politically. And I think Paul, am I a fan of Paul Feinbaum? Not necessarily. But I don't want Paul Feinbaum making policy decisions that will impact my life. That's the reality of it. I've seen this movie, and it's called Tommy Tuberville.
Mm-hmm.
And I want nothing to do with it. And I don't know what prepares you to be a good politician. Being an SEC homer is not on the qualification sheet that I would have written.
Well, being a celebrity, right? Being a big personality, I don't think is just an auto qualifier for being a good politician. I think we have seen that time and time again.
I would agree. And I know, listen, you guys, I get it. We as Republicans, and I say as Republicans again,
as independents.
I'm a registered independent. But as a lifelong Republican, I got into being a Republican because of Ronald Reagan, who got into being a Republican because he was a good actor. Right? I get it. Maybe it's not that you were an alderman and a mayor and a governor, and now you're running for Senate, and then you're going to be president. Okay, maybe that's not the traditional path anymore. But I don't want Stephen A. Smith, I certainly don't want Paul Feinbaum. Because with all due respect to my friends in the South, Southern values have not served this country well. It's what I really struggle with. And I look at somebody like Paul Feinbaum. He is not experienced. He's not educated. And I just don't know how you fix it. I don't know how you fix it. And I don't even, Paxton, I'm not even telling him not to try. But I agree with you, Jake. At the very least, my biggest fear is you're going to rip this dude's anus into like 77 different parts.
Yeah.
And figure out that when he was 13 years old, he kissed an older woman, and like some stupid allegation like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why do we need this? Why can't we just talk?
It is just, it's really tough, dude. And here's what I would ask. If you're Paul Feinbaum and you run for office, let's say you get elected to be a legislator, a senator, or a House of Representatives. Didn't your platform and your reach just go down significantly? Isn't your profile in the media so much larger, and your reach is so much larger than being an elected official? Without all the headaches, without all the consternation. Now, I would agree that, and I was talking to a friend of mine in the media today, and we were trying to figure out, like, okay, who's a guy that was on TV that is doing what Paul Feinbaum wants to do? And the closest guy that we could come in terms with, but he didn't run for office, that'd be Tucker Carlson. Has Tucker Carlson benefited from stepping off of a big stage onto a tiny stage? No, nobody thinks about Tucker Carlson on the daily. That's not the way the world works anymore. He who's got the biggest pulpit has the biggest audience. And I don't believe that Paul Feinbaum, if he truly wants to change the world, and Paul says that his conscience is moving him. If your conscience is moving you, create a political platform and talk to America on your political platform. You're a media superstar. I don't love it, whether you love Paul or not, he's a media superstar. Use that, leverage that. Talk to politicians. Talk to people. Like I don't understand this desire to leave the largest sports platform in the world to go run for office.
You have it good at ESPN, bro.
Oh,
I mean, you
man.
And this brings us back to the conversation that we were having at the beginning of the show today about Mack Rhoades and why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult to be like, yeah, you know what? In my heart of heart, I feel like I need to do something political. I feel like I need to share my feelings. Like I have to do this. Like this is, Jesus and his dad are calling me to do this. Okay. All right. I get it. I don't have an issue with that at all, bro. No problem. But if it comes out 2 years from now that, hey, remember when Feinbaum got into politics and yeah, man, now he looks a little more like, Mitch McConnell than he does Paul Feinbaum. Like, why do that to yourself? Just do a podcast, talk to famous people, and you're good to go.
No idea, man.
You're telling me this dude's not loaded? You're telling me this dude's not got money the rest of his life? He's 70 years old. Come on, dude.
He certainly does. Dude, again, I know a little about a lot of things. Paul Feinbaum's not doing this for money. Paul Feinbaum never has to work again, which is the same thing as Duck Bub 683, who's been a member of the show for 32 months now. You know how humbling it is that you guys have been members of the show for 34 months, 21 months, 32 months, 15 months, 32 months, 3 months, Kenneth Maynor, 3 months. Thank you. You guys, we couldn't do this show without you. Frankly, that we're at 182,000 subscribers on this channel and there's 5,000 people watching the show right now, bro. I am so thankful to all of you who support this show on a daily basis. And I am not saying that tongue in cheek. Even Big Daddy Magic, who this morning asked me to buy him edibles. I love that you're here, man. Former Notre Dame basketball coaches in town. I got a picture with them for you and some crumb bum named Joe Montana. Okay. And then there's Greg Hawkins, who's been a member of the show for 21 months. Oh, are we going to meet in Chicago and go to a Cubs game this year? Or what? Jake won't go to Cubs games with me. Jake?
I've gone to Cubs games with you.
I don't remember that. Vegas Kane, I'll join this show only if you go back to mornings.
Hey, man, wielding your power. Nice job.
Stop it.
Nice job, dude.
Stop it. Stop it. Fake reality. Gumby. Me? Dude, love you, man. Love you. Love you. Yeah, Paul. Don't force your worldviews on all of us. Yeah, because that never ends well. Many of these politicians already have money before getting voted in. Absolutely. Absolutely right.
But you know what I mean? Like, life is easy. I feel like we skip this as people. We don't appreciate the fact that it's like, man, like, dude, I've got this really good paying job and like, I've got a nice house and I got a nice car and I got a nice this and I got a great fan. Like, and we just take all that for granted, dude. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Jason Kidd. Right. Because S is going good and we just don't appreciate what we have. And I feel like that's what Paul is doing right now, bro.
Because shit's
Like,
going good.
you just won't acknowledge, yeah, you know what, dude, if I get into politics, if I get into politics in an official capacity, like if I try to get elected and taxpayers are paying me, that's going to be a problem for me. Like, that's not going to be a fun experience. But
by the way,
yeah.
I think that's the interest, a fun experience. Expound on that, because I think that's absolutely the case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what any of you guys are doing life for. I'm trying to have fun at least a little bit. I'm trying to enjoy life at least a little bit. Like, I mean, we all work so damn much that it doesn't make sense to me to continue to just pile on, especially at 70 years old. And yeah, I agree, Scoop. Yeah, maybe it's an ego thing, right? Maybe it's like, oh, I'm Paul Feinbaum. I got to make a difference. Okay, cool, dude. You want to have a little sticker on your chest and go get voted for? Cool. All right. I won't be voting for you, and my friends won't be voting for you. But hey, you can get some people to vote for you, knock yourself out. All I'm saying is you could be golfing or doing whatever Paul Feinbaum likes to do when he's not doing his show, and you could be doing that every single day. And you could bless your little heart. You could get a bunch of sunshine, could have whatever breakfast you want every day, and ride it out for another 40 years, 30 years. But no, got to go into politics. Okay.
And I'm so passionate about politics. I think you guys know that. I've thought about starting a different YouTube channel to do a political show. And when Jake kicks me in the nuts and makes me go back to morning, I'll probably do that at night. Jake will play Battlefield and, But my point is, there are other ways to do this. And that's not it. Paxton, Monty, what did Mac exactly do? Oh, Mack Rhoades. Oof.
James, any thoughts, dude? Any thoughts, James?
Yeah, Oak State James says that Baylor AD Mack Rhoades did nothing, even though he's on leave under investigation by Baylor.
Well, and he already apologized, so, that's...
Mack Rhoades, we don't know what he's on. Mack Rhoades, the athletic director at Baylor, took a leave of absence today and resigned his position as chairman of the College Football Playoff Committee because he is under investigation for personal conduct violations at Baylor. They say unrelated to the Trigg sideline blow up back in September that Outkick broke, where Mack Rhoades physically accosted, allegedly, one of his players at Baylor because he was wearing the wrong color shirt. And then after the game, physically accosted a staff member who was standing with Trigg and his family on the sideline. It's not good. And it is another really bad look for the Big 12.
Yeah.
Really bad look. Phenomenal Hebrew, the mustache on Monty makes him look older. So yeah, you already look like you're preparing for political talk. It does make me look older. And it's why...
You got something to announce, bro? Do you have an announcement to make? Or, are you beginning the Monty campaign?
No. It's why I did not keep the goatee all those years ago. Mm-hmm. And I hate the must. I hate it. I'll be honest with you. I hate maintaining it. I have to comb it. I have to trim it. I have to, I hate it. But my wife likes it. And, it is what it is. And yeah, bro, you got to appreciate the little things in life. I'm serious. Like, you got to, I talked about it to start the show. Today has been an absolutely terrible day. Like, if it could go wrong, it went wrong today. And my life is fantastic. My problems are not big problems, right? Like, my life is totally fine. Unk 2028. James, I found it. Outkicks Trey Wallace is saying, okay, cool. Rick Neuheisel, UCLA needs an on-campus football stadium. No, they don't. And they have it in Drake Stadium. It was built with an No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
SoFi.
And it's Chad. I think he's completely wrong. I think he's completely wrong. The money it would take, they've explored it repeatedly. They've explored it. Monty Brewster, vote none of the above. I am sure some older Prior fans will remember. Yes. Yes. Husker Magic, I like talking politics and sports. How about the Monty Show cover both politics as well as sports? Good luck.
Oh, because it pisses people off. That's why.
That never goes well around here.
Yeah.
Monty, if I will walk around in the rain with a handful of dog dude, just imagine what I can do for you. Vote Monty. Like,
vote Monty. That's awesome.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. All right, couple other things. What is the biggest game of the weekend? Oklahoma, Bama. Notre Dame, Pitt. Or Notre Dame and Pitt. What's the biggest game of the weekend? Oh, Texas and Georgia's in there as well, but we all know it's Notre Dame and Pitt.
Right. Yeah. Well, this isn't an ACC game, so it doesn't matter.
What game are you most excited about? I don't think there's any doubt it's Texas at Georgia.
I think
Yeah,
I mean, I think Texas and Georgia is has the most notoriety. I think Oklahoma Bama is going to be the best pure football game out of any of them. I think that Georgia Texas is going to be I don't know. I go back and forth. Part of me really does believe there's about 60% of me that really believes Arch is going to have the game of his life, that he's prepared, that Sark's got him ready, that he finally broke through against Vandy and felt good about himself and has confidence, and that he's finally in a place where he can go out and really run the offense. And that's a dangerous proposition given some of the talent that Texas has. So, I mean, I do think it'll be a good game, but I think that Bama OU game has potential to be like an all-time classic, great football game. And I think I have Bama in that game, but I think that will be extremely close, down to the wire, potentially overtime style game.
I don't think it'll be that close. I think at home at Gaylord, I think Oklahoma's really tough. I think on the road and with John Mateer and that whole thing and just how bad things have been, I just feel like they're just not there. And I really do like what Venables has done at Oklahoma. But I just don't think that it fits. Stylistically, this is a terrible matchup for Oklahoma. I mean, it is really rough. And you look at guys like R. Mason Thomas, or I mean, pick your guy, John Mateer. I mean, he is really talented. I think their defense is really good. I think that we can sit here and we can talk all day long about what matters and who's going to make a difference. And, like it is, I just think up front, this is a terrible matchup for Oklahoma. I think on both sides of the ball, I think if they're going to win, Kip Lewis is going to have to be, they're going to have him reproduce himself and be like 10 dudes on the field. I mean, honest to God, because Oklahoma,
I'm a fucking unit.
Yeah, I think one of the things we don't talk about enough with Bama is that their offensive line is actually playing really good football. And you look at the way that Ty Simpson is succeeding. He's succeeding because he has to read time. He's getting time. Not always clean, and he's really good outside the pocket as well, but their offensive line has gotten better every week. It's much what I say about Texas. Their offensive line has gotten better. Now, a lot of that is that Sark draws it up to help the offensive line. And I do agree that their offensive line still leaves a very lot to be desired because Arch's brain fucking hates his offensive line. But it's really tough to see. It's really tough to see Alabama losing this game at home. And I special teams, Tate Sandell is a really good kicker. And I think, what is he? Something like 19 of 20 on the season. Like, there's a lot of reasons to think Oklahoma can hang around. I just don't know. I don't know that John Mateer is good enough right now. And I watched Brett Venables talk about how Mateer's gotten better. He's improved every week since the hand injury. And I agree he was going to win the Heisman Trophy had he stayed healthy. But part of his problem is his style doesn't keep him healthy.
Agreed.
And do you think Bama's defense is going to slow down for little old Johnny Mateer?
No, he's got to be smart in this game, no doubt about it.
Yeah. It is going to be a really important. It's going to be really tough, dude. I'm just telling you now.
Well, I also think that the matchup of John versus that defense.
John Mateer.
Yeah, I'm a big John Mateer guy. Love watching him play football. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's the best quarterback in the country, but I do think he's a top 5 quarterback in the country. Even with his injury and where he's at now, I still think he's a hell of a quarterback. But when you're playing a defense that is ranked 4th nationally in turnovers, they're opportunistic. They're ready. They're prepared. They know how to, they know how to generate some stuff. And I think that one of John's downfalls in this game is that he's going to be playing from behind and he's going to have to force some throws. And Bama's going to be ready for that. And I think that that's what will hurt OU. And, the thing is, Oklahoma's got to get ahead. If Oklahoma scores first, if Oklahoma finds himself up 10 in the first quarter, let's say, by some happenstance, that's ideal. Then you're really, you have an actual chance at that point. But if Bama gets the ball first, drives it down the field 70 yards, 80 yards, scores a touchdown, takes control, that's, you're not coming back from that, in my opinion. I think it's literally, it comes down to that. But I would fully expect Oklahoma to be ready, considering that what did they beat Bama by? Wasn't it like 24-3 or whatever when they played in Norman last time? So these two know each other, man. This isn't it's not like these two are unfamiliar.
Well, I will say that Alabama's passing defense is elite, and Oklahoma has gotten worse and worse and worse. And I think we saw it in the Tennessee game. You can beat Oklahoma over the top, and that scares you a little bit because you're probably not going to run on Oklahoma. I think it'll be interesting to see how Oklahoma comes out and defends Ty Simpson. But I think there is no doubt that this Alabama defense is turning it up. And I think Oklahoma's ground game is good, not great, right? And I think that you're going to have to probably have 35, 40 runs to inflict damage on that Alabama defense. And I just don't know that you can stop Bama from scoring enough to be able to run the ball 35 times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem.
That'd be my question.
Your point about OU's defense against Ty Simpson, you're telling me you're not running a bunch of too high safety in this game? You can't let them go over the top on you, man. You can't have that happen in this game if you want a chance. It's got to be a bunch of forcing them underneath, a bunch of, if you're OU, you want to eat a lot of clock on both sides of the ball, right? The last thing you want is Bama quick scoring. Like, hey, we're going to go over the top, 60-yard bomb down the field. You can't have that in this game if you want a chance. You got to have, I would be playing two high safeties, trying to encourage them to run the ball. That's the kind of game I want to play if I'm OU.
What do you make of Notre Dame and Pitt with this whole thing with Pat Narduzzi? Am I making too much out of this? I think that Pat Narduzzi, this was a big mistake. I just know all too well how Marcus Freeman prepares his team. And for Pat Narduzzi to come out and just say some of the stupidest shit that I have probably ever heard leading up to a game with Notre Dame. I just don't understand.
Like this is a must-win for this team when it comes to something.
Absolutely not. It is not an ACC game. I'm glad you brought that up. It's not an ACC game. I gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10 in that game. They can put 100 up on us as long as we win the next two after that. But again, our focus is on Notre Dame and getting as many wins as we can.
I just don't know why you
understand that.
Yeah, I don't know why you would ever say that. And, I appreciate that they asked Marcus about this, and his answer was that this is a really important game. This is a big challenge. He took the high road, coach speaked it, and I appreciate that about Marcus. But I agree with you. If I'm Marcus Freeman, I am in full red ass mode looking to punish Pitt for this. Like, I would be. This is just one of those games where you're big brother playing little brother in a sense, and you want to stomp on their neck. Like, that's what I would expect out of Notre Dame. I would expect.
And nothing less.
I would expect, like, if I'm Marcus Freeman, my mentality on offense, regardless of how you've been playing, my mentality would be, yeah, you know what? We're going to prove a point on the ground. We are going to run this thing right down their throat, and they're not going to be able to stop us. That'd be my mission in this game, because that your defense is more than capable of keeping up with their offense. And I just think it's disrespectful to say this type of thing towards Notre Dame. And last week we talked all about, the Iowa-Oregon thing and Ferentz and what he said, and, was that shade? And I didn't feel like that was shade, and it was very respectful. But this is very clearly shade. This is you trying to poke the bear and say, oh, well, you're not in the ACC, so who cares about this game, even though it's our Super Bowl? Like, you need to win this game if you're Pitt. Absolutely. Yeah. There's no question about it. So if I'm Notre Dame publicly, I'm doing exactly what Marcus did. But privately, I'm coming out to prove a point. There's no other way.
Well, and I think you have to remember that Notre Dame has put some beaten down on Pitt. But I think one of the things that stands out is Pitt's a really good football team. I mean, they are a very talented team. You look at Mason Hinchell. You look at the fact that Desmond Reed and Ja'Carrion Turner are really good running backs. I mean, they're wide receivers. Poppy Williams, Hicks, Johnson. They got dudes. They got dudes. But it is without question that Pitt has not been able to stop the run unless they're playing Duquesne, unless they're playing Central Michigan and Syracuse. Like, I was looking at the Stanford Pitt tape last night, and I don't think Pitt's defense was tested in that game. 58 rushing attempts by West Virginia for 170 yards. Right?
58 rushing attempts, bro.
On 40 carries by Florida State. The 170 yards on 40 carries, a 4.3 yard average by Florida State, 161 yards on 19 carries by NC State. Notre Dame with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. And I think when you look at Christian Gray and you look at the way that this defense is, the secondary certainly improved. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And I just want to understand why Pat Narduzzi would say what he said. Because I don't understand. And it's been, I'll be honest with you, probably don't follow it, you guys, but Notre Dame's had a very good week recruiting. You look at the running backs that are committing and visiting. Notre Dame is in a really good spot. They're in a really good spot with everything to lose on Saturday. That's why this is so stupid, right? This is so stupid. And I look at the way that their offensive line has dealt with injuries, and you're playing a sophomore at tackle. And I'm telling you now, Notre Dame's ready. Notre Dame's ready for this game. If Pitt wins this game, they're going to beat a ready and tested Notre Dame team who is, I think, ready to prove at Acrisure that they can win on the road in a face mask breaking game, because that's what this is going to be. And I like Pat Narduzzi and I respect him, but this was really stupid.
Yep.
This was really, really stupid. And you know that I really struggle to understand it. Joey Harper, the only way Pitt beats Notre Dame is if Marcus forgets the number that comes after 10. Well, you know, Narduzzi has always been an odd duck. Yes, he has. Narduzzi's comments versus James's comments. Well,
Afghanistan.
Yeah. Talking smack is one thing. Disrespecting a team is just asking for an ass kicking. Yes, it is.
It's true.
Pitt had a decimated roster due to injuries. Cannot go by those stats, Monty. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I hope you're right. I want it to be a really good game. King of Thailand, going to walk on the beach, boys. Thanks for a great show today. Good to see you, buddy.
Enjoy the walk.
Every second of it. Love.
By the way,
every
he did
second
say
of it.
that he tweeted at you pictures of his apartment or something like that earlier on the show.
I have 1,167 Twitter notifications. I'm trying. And for King of Thailand, I'll click on it. And the first thing I see is Bailey Dietrich tweeting at me about vacated Michigan State wins.
Okay, did he DM you then?
Johnny DeMonery, who has a Pac-12 logo in his bio. Just because you're not fat anymore clearly doesn't mean you're not stupid. This is a good deal for the Pac-12.
Wow.
Oh, I needed a good laugh. Oh, wow. Yeah, he has a beautiful... Oh, he's in a hotel right now. Yeah, you can see the water from his hotel room. Good on you, dude. Good on you. I found it. La Habana, Hua is where he is staying. Good on you, dude. Happy for you, man.
Afghanistan.
Happy for you. I am happy for you. Oh, and he also DM'd me. This buddy who says I'm not fat anymore. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. He said, even though I think you hate the Pac-12, really happy for your health. Tell me what you did. I'm 367 pounds. I'm 6 foot on the dot. I snore like a freight train. How did you lose the weight? Very simply, I use Zepbound. I walk a lot. And if you're overweight, you guys, and you can't afford Zepbound because it's not cheap, I would tell you to walk. Get walking. Strengthen your feet. I've really dug into this. I think I talked about this on the show. I've really dug into the danger that your life becomes when you have weak ankles, feet, and toes. And the danger that happens when you get older and you fall down. And you just gotta, and granted, I live in a walking city. So, Seattle is a lovely town to walk around in. And I can tell you that my diet's pretty rock solid, and I'll show you. I actually have my bowl sitting here. Vegetables and ground turkey for lunch today. I meal prep. I think that's not a secret. But what did I eat today? I tried to eat cereal. That didn't happen. I had a protein bar, a banana, emergency with 7 grams of creatine, those vegetables, and ground turkey. And I've had 2 white monsters. Well, I've got 3, but I drank 2 white monsters.
See, that was a
penis joke.
That was a macaque joke. You see what he did there.
And when I finish this, when which I'm almost done with. This will be 60 ounces of water.
Macaque.
In Zepbound, I am down 46 pounds. I am down 6 inches around my waist, 10 inches around my chest. You know what's funny? You know what's really funny? And I think a lot of people forget this. What's really funny is you lose weight in your feet. I've lost weight. I kid you not. I have lost weight in my feet. So certain shoes are not as comfortable as they used to be. It's crazy, man. And I think it is so funny to me that when you lose weight, you don't think about the fact that you're going to have to buy all new clothes. Like my biggest problem right now, you guys, I don't have a lot of clothes that fit me. I don't. Like we joke about the vest Jake is wearing. I am on a heater of vests right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I went down a black hole of vests and I am on a heater. It is as impressive of things that I've ever seen. I now though realize, like I don't wear it anymore. It's too big. I have a Nike vest with a hood. It's too big. It is too big. And I can pay, like I was talking to the lady at Lululemon and I was telling her about my weight loss. And she said, buy your pants to fit. And if you continue to lose weight, come back, we'll tailor them for free. If it's a Lululemon product, they will tailor it for free.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I had looked at, there's a tailor not far from my house. To have a pair of my jeans tailored was $69. The jean itself is only $105, which in and of itself is flipping ridiculous. But anyway, to say the least, I'm on a run. I'm on a run of vests. I was a 5XL. I am now between a 2XL and a 3XL. So, yes, the Zepbound works. It is. I started August 2nd with 2.5. September 2nd, I went to 5.0. And October 2nd, I went to 7.5. And I'm probably not going to go above. I probably will never go to 10. The next dose up is 10. I'll probably never go to 10. It works. This works incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
But the hardest part about losing weight is, for me anyway, body image is terrible. Like I really struggle with my body image. I hate the way I look. I struggle to believe what my eyes are seeing. Like I got on the scale this morning and I lost another pound. And like, it's just the mental part of losing weight is so frustrating. And the thing that Zepbound shows you is how much you were eating. I know the first 3 weeks I was food journaling. The first 3 weeks I started Zepbound, I was keeping a food journal. I'm eating now about 1,800 calories a day. Before Zepbound, I was probably eating about 5,000 calories a day. That's 3,200 extra calories. And I'm losing 2 pounds a week on 1,800 calories. Can you imagine? I was eating 5,000 calories a day.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know how you do that. And I get asked this all the time. What's your goal? I don't really have a goal. I don't have a number. I'm wildly healthy. And I don't know if they're still in here. If they are, I'll show them to you. But if they're not, oh well. But my blood work, it's not in here anymore. My blood work came back the other day and I joked on the show. But I've never had high cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
My cholesterol is ideal. My doctor, my new doctor here in Seattle said to me, you're ideal. Like your cholesterol's, I've lost 20 more points off my cholesterol, I think it was. My A1C is really good. It's always been good, but it's really good. My triglycerides, like everything. Hey, bro, that's why I say when I'm having a shitty day, I'm not really having a shitty day. You know, like my e-commerce stuff is a little frustrating right now, or, you know, like the just stuff in general it's incredible to me. And I find myself just hating the way I look. It's so strange.
Mm-hmm.
It's so strange. Let's see. Once you do the work to lose the weight in inches, you'll never look at food the same. And that's the thing with Zepbound. And if any of you have been on Ozempic or Wegovy, you probably understand this. What it does is it teaches you how you should relate to food. I don't eat emotionally anymore. I'm certain that I was eating emotionally.
I'm certain that we all eat emotionally.
And I just don't eat emotionally anymore. Hey, look at that. Calamoni gifts 20 Monty Show memberships. As always, Calamoni, really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. Congratulations on your quarterback. But yeah, I you know, it's brutal, man. Hating how you look. Welcome to the club, right? It's so strange, Greg. And Greg, and I don't even joke when I say this. Greg is a TV star and a model. And him and I have talked about this. I think, Greg, we've talked about this multiple times.
Yeah.
Like hating the way you look isn't a fat guy thing or a thin guy thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah, it's a most people thing. Let's be real. This is not unique to any particular body type.
Yeah. In 3 months, gone from 8.9 to 6.5 A1C. Way to go. What are you using? Are you on Ozempic or what are you using? Fight on Natties. Well, I was going to comment, but apparently I'm irrelevant. Appreciated, gents. What do you mean?
What I mean, I just don't understand, dude. We read your comments all the time, bro.
Yeah, you're our
Did we miss
resident
something?
USC fan. Y'all inspired me, Monty. I started Zepbound first week of October. So far, I'm down 22 pounds. Attaboy. You'll see a lot of people ask me, hey, what is your what are the side effects you've had? I haven't had notable side effects. I don't poop as much as I used to poop. Like, that's the biggest thing. You just don't. I wouldn't say I'm constipated ever. I used to be once or twice a day to 3 or 4 times a week. And my doctor's like, yeah, totally normal. Totally normal. You know, hating how you look is a byproduct of trying to improve yourself. It's a weird phenomenon, bro.
It is.
Like, I'm going to go.
You want the results fast.
Yeah, I'm going to go bench press tonight, and I'm telling you, I'm going to hate it. I'm back in the gym. That's the other part of my attitude today. Like, I finally feel better. Like, I did a big back and shoulder workout. You know what I can do now that I haven't been able to do for many years? I can actually do a dead hang now. Because I'm obsessed with doing a pull-up before the year's over. And I actually can do a 10-second dead hang now, which I haven't been able to do for I don't know how long. But yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it. For me, I don't like that I have a big forehead and the hairline like Screaming A. Smith. Okay. We always nitpick ourselves for sure. I mean, slow eating and long walks. Yeah. For me, I was probably a fast eater.
You were.
I just don't eat as much. It's a volume thing for me. I don't pay attention to how fast I eat. Honestly, I probably should. Shave the head and the 5-head hairline goes away. Who are you, Jaylen Brown? Did you guys see Jaylen Brown leaving black marks on people's jerseys because he's painting his hairline in? Speaking of hairlines, but losing weight in your head, like I have hats that fit me great now that I didn't previously wear. It's crazy. Let's see. Daniel Dixon, Manjaro, 12.5 milligrams. I take it weekly. Yeah, Manjaro is Zepbound. So yeah, it's 12.5. Whew. 7.5 is a lot. I feel a big difference in 7.5. Did I miss the conversation about USC and Michigan leaving the Big Ten? You did. I don't think it's fake news. I don't think they're leaving the Big Ten. This is the Big Ten revenue story we talked about earlier today. So you know that this $2.4 billion is coming into the Big Ten, and Michigan and USC are opposed to it. They're the only two holdouts. And so the Big Ten essentially has said, okay, we're going to do it without you. We're not going to give you any of that money. And we're going to do a new grant of rights that won't include you. USC and Michigan will capitulate. They will get on board. The problem is that the deal overwhelmingly favors Ohio State. Ohio State will make the most money in this deal. There is no question about it.
Yeah, but Michigan fan wants to say that that's somehow a bias, and I maintain they've earned that right.
We can sit here and we can talk about biases. It's going to be based on what you do on the field and the value you bring to the Big Ten. Because nobody's giving you $2.4 billion, which I think is a mistake. I think this is a bad deal for the Big Ten. There's no reason to do it. The issue that I see is the Big Ten wants to distribute revenue based on wins, television ratings, and attendance, both home and road. Why would you say no to that? Especially Michigan when you have that size of stadium. Well, because a lot of people don't watch Michigan football. A lot of people only go to Michigan Stadium because it's a landmark. Michigan, people want to tell you that Michigan has this incredible fan base. Michigan fans are not great. Michigan fans, you don't have the fan base or the stadium that they have at Ohio State. And I'm not even an Ohio State fan. I've been to both many times. The shoe is significantly better than Michigan Stadium. How many times have I said that? When Utah went up there and beat them with, the quarterback's name went out of my head, but the guy getting flipped over head over heels all those years ago. You remember what I remember? Yeah, that place was empty because it was raining and it was bad weather. Well, because you're shitty fans. And you don't travel. Michigan fan does not travel all that well. I don't think that the big theory is that Michigan and USC, they're going to leave the Big Ten and go independent. No, you're not. Because nobody will schedule you. Do you know how hated Michigan is across the intercollegiate athletic universe?
Yeah, you're not leaving the Big Ten, dude. You're just trying to get what you want. That's all.
Yeah. This is a mistake for the Big Ten. I'm just going to tell you that now. It's a mistake. I take my shots on Friday. It has helped. Well, if you don't do well with the shot, it will help you to take it on a night. I take it at night every Tuesday night. Take it at night, and then I go to bed. And I wake up feeling like $1 million.
Yeah.
Fight on Natties. What is Zepbound? Is that some kind of surgery? No. Zepbound is a GLP-1. And it essentially controls the enzymes in your stomach and your brain related to pleasure centers and your digestive system. So it's a remarkable drug that seemingly every week new research comes out on its impact in the body. It is so good for brain health. And now they're showing these studies, these long use studies about how much benefit there is to your pancreas and your digestive system, like all the enzymes in your stomach, the chemicals, because your stomach is actually a very well curated bunch of bacteria and enzymes and chemicals to balance that. And when that gets out of whack, you get things like diverticulitis or pancreatitis. God forbid that word that I don't ever say on this show. And what Zepbound and GLP-1s are showing is that because of the way they impact the communication between your brain and your stomach, the impact food has on your system is far less. So we're seeing a big reduction in colon cancer, pancreatitis, ailments of the stomach and the pancreas and the endocrine system, and it regulates insulin. And really for those of you who don't know, and I'm not an expert, I just know what I know. Insulin essentially says, oh, hey, let's get into the stomach so we can store fat. That's basically in layman's terms. And that's what Zepbound helps you control. Used to do the shot in the thigh, now in the stomach. I rotate spots on my stomach. I use a clock system on my stomach, and it works great. I've never done it in my arm or my thigh. Haven't had a need to change it. So, will Jack be live streaming Black Ops 7?
No. Nope.
Okay. Chris Huey, 3186. I've lost 55 pounds since July. Good on you, buddy.
Nice, bro.
Biggest thing for me is cravings are gone. I used to be a terrible foodaholic. Me too. I don't snack ever. I just don't. I don't. Yeah, did you guys see Ohtani won the NL MVP? Yeah, I got to think it's Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
I got to think it's Cal Raleigh. But yeah, Randy, I think it is cravings. I think it is cravings. No question about it. Fight on Natty's Big Ten trying to threaten us it's not like we're some broke-ass program begging for pennies and attention. No, but I think the scary thing about taking a private equity loan is that you're not united. And I call it a private equity loan because they're going to want their money back. They don't give you money not to get money.
Right.
And I don't think there is a clear directive on what that money will be used for. I think it is going to be, in the worst case scenario, here's $2.4 billion split up 87 ways and given to the universities to do with what they want. And I don't think that's how you should do it. I think that's a huge mistake. Oh, Ohio State won the national championship. Well, here's the formula that we've put in place. We're going to give you $10 million to renovate your stadium. We're going to give you $10 million. Something, I'm going to give you money to make more money so that you can improve your on-field performance and revenue generation so we all make more money. This can't be a thing where it's, well, Michigan's in debt from all these legal fees and all the cheating shit and Matt Weiss diddling people's accounts and stuff. They need a private equity injection to pay legal fees. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, and I also don't think in college athletics you're doing an equity deal where there's responsibility around getting the private equity's money back. I think that there has to be a different structure. When you're selling 10% stake or whatever, there has to be some protections, and that's why I say this will be unique. We'll have to see what it is.
Yeah, nothing for the USC pension fund, the UC pension fund, dude. Funny, not funny, bro. Funny, not funny. Michael Colwell. Also, one more thing for Michigan fan and Michigan program. You were making fun of Notre Dame about being independent, and all of a sudden you want to leave the Big Ten to go independent, you hypocrites. Totally true. Totally true. Phenomenal Hebrew. Black Ops 7 is going to get crushed 3 ways by Battlefield 6, Arc Raiders, and Where the Wind Meets comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, I just think it's not great timing, dude. There's a lot of stuff out right now.
And you really like Battlefield.
I do. I think it's a good game. Arc Raiders is on my list. Not going to do it probably before the year's out, but it's on my list. People are raving about it. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's, Black Ops 6 was great. It's a fun game. I've done a lot of time playing that game. Had a lot of fun with friends on that game. But the problem is with Call of Duty, there's too much cheating, man. They haven't done a good enough job eliminating cheaters from multiplayer and from the battle royale mode. So you're left, trying to compete with guys who are using a program that doesn't really make it a fair fight. And so in Battlefield is now notorious for deleting people's accounts and being pretty harsh about like, hey, if we even sniff that you're cheating, we're cooking your account. So
does it mean that, and this is what I've always struggled with, if it means that much to you, that you need to cheat to win at Black Ops. Like, bro, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong. You know, like, you're doing it wrong. I would love to see the Cali schools unite again. The old
That'd be nice.
Pac-12 was phenomenal. All right, do we do the non-sports stories? Because I know you're always trying to get out of here early, Jake.
I mean, I was only up all night with my smoke detector situation, so it's fine. It's fine. Life lesson here, guys. Never move into a place where your smoke detectors are hardwired to your apartment or house, because the moment that there's and what I was told, quote, an electrical issue that would cause that. Yeah, thanks, dude. That really helped me last night at 11 o'clock when, I was dead asleep and all of my smoke detectors were going off. And, I woke up on like 4 hours of sleep this morning. Thanks, bro. That was really an outstanding experience, dude.
So in my condo, I live in a really nice condo. My wife, bless her soul, she has a lot of shit in her bathroom. I mean, makeup everywhere. You know how a girl's bathroom is.
Yes.
So she has her own bathroom. And in that bathroom, there's a light fixture that's going bad. All right, the dudes show up, replace the light fixture, fine. That was Monday. Today is Thursday. So here's another thing you can drop on the list of why today's a shitty day. The light bulb in the bathroom goes out again. That's a dozen light bulbs that these people have replaced for us. This time you could smell the burning. So now tomorrow they're going to be here to spend an hour ripping my bathroom electricity apart to try and fix this.
Damn.
Dude, like, it's just been Aaron Judge won the MVP award. Aaron Judge beats Cal Raleigh to win his second. That's bullshit. That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. That is terrible. Terrible. Aaron Judge won the fucking MVP. God, bro, I love Aaron Judge, and I'm actually a closeted Yankee fan. But Cal Raleigh was the most valuable player in the American League. That is horrible. That is horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Suckmyass.com.
Can we not have any nice things in this world? When a white guy with a fat ass hits 800 home runs in a season and the Seattle Mariners go to the playoffs and win a series and almost won another one, give the guy the MVP award. They made it to the postseason only because of him. Oh, my God. You make my balls ache, dude. And Aaron Judge had a great year. Frankly.
And kick a person when he's down.
Cal Raleigh should have been the American League most valuable player. Shohei was the most valuable player in the National League. I'm not sure that it's close. But give Cal Raleigh the award. Dude, do you know how hard it is to have that kind of season?
The biggest load that we've seen.
Good God. And no, it has nothing to do with me living in Seattle. It has nothing to do with me. I am not a Mariners fan. I'm a Chicago Cub diehard fan.
Almost to a fault, bro.
How does this guy not win the MVP award? That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
a disgrace.
Incredible. Man. Anyway, Cal should be the MVP. Judge the Hank Aaron. Totally agree. Give him the Hank Aaron Award. No idea. See me on the big screen. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Who here popularity win for Judge? Could have been. Absolutely could have been. But yeah, Cal Raleigh deserved that award. Unbelievable. East Coast bias. That's the only thing it can be. It was a question. Was the guy from... Yeah, he was bamboozled. Totally. Sorry if I misread that. You guys, one other thing before I get out of here. You want something good did happen today. something good did happen today. So I'm fat. I love Italian food. There's a place in Chicago called Carmine's.
You see, I'm a guy of simple taste.
Went to Chicago 3 times this year. Carmine's is not open. Being renovated. Couldn't go. Okay.
Fat.
There's also Carmine's in Seattle. Il Fazaro Carmine.
That's not what we're about.
Carmine's over in Bellevue. Great restaurant. They're calling it the anticipated restaurant opening of the year. Carmine's, downtown Seattle, brand new location. Opens on the 19th. Before I put a pile of shit in my hand when walking the dog this afternoon, I was in the elevator with this nice young lady who had on a jacket that said Carmine's on it. I said, hey, when are you guys opening that new spot? I'm really excited about that. I ate at your Fazaro over the weekend. And she said, well, it opens on the 19th next week. I was like, oh man, I bet it's going to be months to get in there. She goes, yeah, but I happen to be one of the on the management team. I don't want to out who this gal is. I happen to be why don't you email this guy? Email the general manager of the restaurant. Tell him that you want to come to dinner on the 19th. See if he can get you in. What do you have to lose? I emailed the guy 30 seconds later. Happy to accommodate, Monty. How about 7:00?
Bro knows who you are. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think it's probably because of my email address. But he said, happy to accommodate, Monty. How about 7:00? Yeah, 7:00 on opening night. That'd be great. We're going to the restaurant opening of the year in Seattle.
Dude.
Next, I think it's next Wednesday at 7:00.
Yeah. Dude,
Cannot
check
wait.
your attitude at the door, bro.
I had
a great day.
I had rigatoni.
Hell yeah.
And really good vajul, homemade vajul last Saturday night. I am so excited about this. And then that weekend, I get to get on a plane and go down to LA for. Did you guys see the weather in Los Angeles?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the fire in the Sierras? So apparently this storm ain't no playing. Boy, this storm hits I believe it was in the Sierras. It hits the downslope of the Sierras at 80 miles an hour with wind as the storm is coming in. Lightning lights it on fire, rages for a short time, and then gets blown out by its own wind and precipitation. This storm in Southern California is going to be crazy. And I know we have a lot of LA Orange County listeners. If you're in LA or OC, please be careful. This storm is supposed to be some kind of craziness. And we're getting our ass beat in Seattle today too. It has been windy and rainy. And it's it is 200 miles off the West Coast. And it is going to miss Seattle. And the tail of the crescent is going to slam into Southern California. And it is going to be wild, bro.
Yeah, man.
Wild. And if you just go look at the radar and the radar plots on this storm, good luck. It is going to be crazy. And they shouldn't be getting a lot of rain, but hey, we are getting some rain already, a very strong, solid downpour. Dude, be cool, man. Rain for me next week. Yay. Gumby. Atmospheric river time, boy.
Yay.
Exactly right. I can't give up pasta. It's my weakness, dude. Pasta I eat is so inflammatory. It just blows your intestines up. But once a month. And I don't know what's going to be on their menu at Carmine's when they open. If they have lasagna, you all right over there, Jake?
Yeah.
If they have lasagna, you better goddamn well know I'm going to have it because
Stay hard.
I am so excited. Yeah, happy to accommodate Monty. All right, tomorrow on the show, we'll do, obviously, we'll do previews of all the big games. I really want to talk about how AI relationships are driving divorce rates. And did you guys know that there are certain states where adultery is a $10,000 fine and imprisonment? We got to, tomorrow, before we get out of here, we got to talk about sex with AI and how that's driving divorces.
James, you better be here.
This show is crazy, dude. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Clear, risk-free advice, 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime. Theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.